hardest, and I'ma go hard regardless. Yeah, I'ma go hard regardless. Yeah, renting my check, I rent on my bag, I did what I did. Yeah, renting my check, I rent on my bag, I did what I did. Yeah, and how good they judge me, oh, but they don't know.
Dylan Gabriel up.
Look how far I came, dog. I ain't had no guidance. I just did my thing, dog. I just went my hardest, and I'ma go hard regardless. Yeah, I'ma go hard regardless. Yeah, renting my check, I rent on my bag, I did what I did. Yeah, renting my check, I rent on my bag, I did what I did. Yeah, and how good they judge me, oh, but they don't know. Look at what I did, look at what I started. Look how far I came, dog. I ain't had no guidance. I just did my thing, dog. I just went my hardest, and I'ma go hard regardless. Yeah, I'ma go hard regardless. Yeah, renting my check, I rent on my bag, I did what I did. Yeah, renting my check, I rent on my bag, I did what I did. Yeah, and how good they judge me, oh, but they don't know.
Dylan Gabriel up.
Look how far I came, dog. I ain't had no guidance. I just did my thing, dog. I just went my hardest, and I'ma go hard regardless. Yeah, I'ma go hard regardless. Yeah, renting my check, I rent on my bag, I did what I did. Yeah, renting my check, I rent on my bag, I did what I did. Yeah, and how good they judge me, oh, but they don't know. Look at what I did, look at what I started. Look how far I came, dog. I ain't had no guidance. I just did my thing, dog. I just went my hardest, and I'ma go hard regardless. Yeah, I'ma go hard regardless. Yeah, renting my check, I rent on my bag, I did what I did. Yeah, renting my check, I rent on my bag, I did what I did. Yeah, and how good they judge me, oh, but they don't know.
Dylan Gabriel up.
Look how far I came, dog. I ain't had no guidance. I just did my thing, dog. I just went my hardest, and I'ma go hard regardless. Yeah, I'ma go hard regardless. Yeah, renting my check, I rent on my bag, I did what I did. Yeah, renting my check, I rent on my bag, I did what I did. Yeah, and how good they judge me, oh, but they don't know. Look at what I did, look at what I started. Look how far I came, dog. I ain't had no guidance. I just did my thing, dog. I just went my hardest, and I'ma go hard regardless. Yeah, I'ma go hard regardless. Yeah, renting my check, I rent on my bag, I did what I did. Yeah, renting my check, I rent on my bag, I did what I did. Yeah, and how good they judge me, oh, but they don't know.
Dylan Gabriel up.
Look how far I came, dog. I ain't.
morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. How y'all feeling? I got me some tea. My voice sounded a little crazy. I think it's because I've been talking too much. But it's all for the love of the game. So I appreciate y'all. Happy Monday. Let me sip a little tea. I sound a little rocky. I sound a little rough. Maybe it's just me. Maybe it's on my end. Maybe I'm thinking I sound rough, but I think I sound rough. All right, I do sound a little bit rough. That's all right. We still going to have a great show. We're going to have a great show. Good morning, Felix. How you feeling today? Latika, what's going on?
I don't think he went to school nowhere. If he went to school, he didn't learn nothing.
Craig, good morning. How you feeling? Make sure y'all hit that like button on the way in. Everybody hit the like button on the way in as we are greeting everyone. Top of the morning, Black Pearl. How you feeling? Good morning, Charmaine. Hardest working woman in Ohio. Don't do me that way, Brent. Don't do me that way. Don't do me that way. Good morning, Brent. Don't do me that way. Don't do me that way. No. It's funny because I've been sipping my tea. I've been putting the stream together, and I didn't notice it until I start hearing myself speak, and I'm like, dang, I sound a little raspy. This is that ashy voice. So I gotta shake this. But I have been talking a lot lately. I think the last week and a half is probably the most streaming I've done. So I don't feel sick or anything like that, but it does feel a little bit, I don't know, like sandpepper-ish. I don't know how to describe it, but it definitely feels a little bit different. That's all right. We're gonna push through. We still gonna have a great stream. We still have a great stream. We're gonna get to how they are covering this football game, the Super Bowl. I've only heard one person say Drake May was not good. We gonna get to it. All right, we got some people jumping in. It's just Maya. Good morning. How you feeling? How are you feeling? Key Mathis is here. Key Mathis, when you said I done wasted my good crabs on this game, you had me rolling last night. What's going on, Key Mathis? Zedric, what's going on? We back at it. Good morning. Good morning, Angela Dawkins. We're back at it. We're going to recap the game. I was watching Get Up this morning. I got a clip from Get Up. You're not going to hear anybody saying Drake May did not play the best. It's funny who they are blaming how the Patriots offense looked. They taking everything off the plate of Drake May. Let me just say that. One person is going to say Drake May needs to play better. We're gonna tap into that one person. Was Cam Newton right the whole time? Cam highlighted something with Drake May because it seemed like Cam Newton was the only one who was actually watching Drake May play. Oh, no. Good morning, Wet 11s. How you feeling today? How you feeling? D, I have all my clips ready to go. Ryan Clark was just about in tears talking about Drake May. It's funny who they protect. Funny who they protect. That left tackle was awful and got the worst grade. Will Campbell, he was the number 4th overall pick in this past year. He was good throughout the regular season, when he was going up after elite pass rush, after elite pass rusher, after elite pass rusher, he definitely got exposed. He definitely got exposed.
Here we go, Brownies. Here we go. Woo, woo. Here we go, Brownies. Here we go. Woo, woo. Here we go, Brownies.
Selmo Fudd, good morning. Top of the morning to you as well. Top of the morning to you. Get Up was blaming the O-line, calling their names and everything. What a shame. Meanwhile, they still talking about Shedeur interceptions. Should we believe these people that speak about football now? Now that, because I know a lot of people, this is your first year fully watching the NFL, the coverage, paying attention to what they say, understanding them breaking it down. Do y'all believe them? D, have a little hot lemon and honey if tea does not help. I appreciate that, Keith Mathis. Yeah. I think my voice is, just using it more throughout the last week. Like I was saying, I don't feel sick, but I definitely hear my voice sound different. It sounds different. So I'm definitely gonna be nursing my voice back after this stream. Drake May didn't play good throughout the playoffs. Talk to him, Craig. If you watched it, if you was watching every game like we did, you knew he didn't play well. This wasn't a surprise to you. if you were paying attention the whole time. This is a shame. They never gave Shedeur any grace. This bull junk stops now. See, this is the approach I take with it. Once you expose what they're about and their shortcomings, you just move off of them. So I'm not going to go to the comments of every ESPN show. I'm just going to show y'all, hey, maybe you are valuing their experience in the NFL more than you should, because their experience in the NFL does not equate to being a great analyst. That's what I'm exposing. I had to turn my TV. Let me slow down. I had to turn the TV off after seeing teary-eyed Ryan on First Take. First Take, I didn't see any of it because the time that it starts, and this is when I'm finishing up the last couple things here. So, Detroit Gemini, good morning. I thought I saw a stat yesterday where the Patriots were the first team to have 2 rookie linemen starting in the Super Bowl. Will was looking worse than Cam Robinson. They were overpowering him. I saw him get bulldozed over on one play that they ended up calling black, where somebody on the Patriots offensive line jumped off sides. You dealing with grown men out here. Miss Sparkles, good morning. Good morning. The Seattle Seahawks originally held the 144th overall pick in the 2025 NFL Draft. If they would have kept it, Shedeur would have a Super Bowl. I didn't know that was their original pick. We're going to stop pulling their stats. I only heard Asante so far calling out May. I don't want them to beat them up, but just be fair. For real. For real. Just call it straight. Call it straight. Call it straight. Good morning, Ivar. How you feeling? Greetings from Florida. I know y'all enjoying that weather down there. If Knicks was healthy, Pats don't go to the Super Bowl, but Broncos still don't beat the Seahawks. I agree with that assessment. I agree with that. KC, good morning. How you feeling? Always good morning. Good morning, Miss Sparkles. They're just not being fair on the assessment. I hear them saying, "Oh, it was nothing they could do." There's nothing they could do. They just got to deal with it. They shouldn't have been on the field with the team. And people had the nerve to say that Shedeur was supposed to make his teammates better on the offensive line when we watched a team in the Super Bowl get beat this way. They were beating people. Drake May just hasn't performed. If they would have been honest, they wouldn't have been surprised by this outcome. But people weren't being honest. The Pats never tried to change the schemes. I think it was too much confusion. The left side of their offensive line is rookies. They got a second-year quarterback. I think they couldn't figure out what they were doing. So y'all have heard me say this because I've been one of the only people who mainly speaks on Cleveland, who was telling people Seattle's defense is something else. And I was telling everybody, hey, they can rotate their front 7 guys. They can disguise things really well. You will not know what they're coming with. They had the whole team confused. They had McDaniels confused. They didn't know how to attack them. They didn't know where the pressure was coming from. It was exposed right there. And the funny thing is, this was the defensive coordinator from the Baltimore Ravens. So 2 years ago, he was captain in that Baltimore Ravens defense. So this doesn't just affect the Seattle. Seattle got their Super Bowl. Patriots lose. Baltimore had his D coordinator, let him get out the building, only for him to go win a Super Bowl. I bet you Baltimore is probably feeling some type of way right now. They're feeling some type of way. All right, Jizzle, what's going on? How you feeling? D, low-key, I think Tom Brady was happy. He's hiring the hottest offensive coach in this cycle in Clint Kubiak, so he happy. Ivy League Mac, what's going on? Matthew, top of the day. Game managers getting exposed. For real. Stage was too big for him. Craig, at the beginning of my stream yesterday, I was like, man, it could be my bias, but I think Drake May looks nervous at the very beginning of the game. I'm like, he looks nervous. So it played out that he was nervous because I was like, he just looks shaky. The media is going to ruin May like they did Josh because they coddled him. That's why Josh don't play with no fire, and neither does May. I think I wouldn't put that on him this early. I would say we got to see how he bounces back from failure first. We got to see how he bounces back because this 2 years in. Josh Allen 2 years in was so up and down, so many turnovers. So I think we should not write people off this early. We should not write people off this early. Look at the other side of the field. Sam Darnold. I'm going to get to that. Sam Darnold, he was rolled off. He was a bust. He couldn't play well. Look what he did in Minnesota last year. Minnesota is feeling the type of way that they let him go. Now this year, Seattle, they go win the Super Bowl with him. So I don't think we should write people off, especially 1 and 2 years in their career. So if you choose to do that, that's fine. I'm not going to do that. I heard people saying Seattle defense was going to shut the pass down. I thought the Rams were the only team that could beat Seattle. But once the Rams couldn't beat Seattle and their special teams fell apart, I'm like, Seattle going to win this. They're going to win. Some of the Patriots players didn't look good, including Drake May, and that's okay. Everyone has bad games, but the media gives them grace. We just want the media to give Shedeur that same grace. That's it, Black Pearl. That's it. Jeff Bezos rumored to be buying the Seahawks. Think about that. They won the Super Bowl, and right before they won the Super Bowl, they put the team up for sale. It's the highest value. The highest value. We deserve to see Darnold versus Dobbs. Both were at Minnesota. I'll just tell you this. Quarterback starts up here first. It's all about your confidence and how you're seeing things. To get benched in the Super Bowl, that is something that could potentially destroy somebody's career. So you go with the guy that got you there. Dobbs, I seen Dobbs in Cleveland. I seen Dobbs in Arizona. I seen Dobbs in Minnesota. Remember, when Dobbs was in Minnesota, he played right away, and they were so excited for him. Once he had 3 games under his belt, you see why Dobbs was a backup. So I'm not the person that champions the backup. It's a reason why they're a backup. It's a reason. Especially guys who've been in the league 7-8 years, you have an idea of their strengths and weaknesses. So I don't think Dobbs would have went in and did that much different because we've seen him play a lot. Seen him play a lot. No, I'm not writing off. I love May. I'm saying if they listen to the media, sometimes people can get lax when people are always giving you praise. I agree with that, but I don't think that's Josh Allen. I think if you want to know, I'll tell you exactly what the issue is with Josh Allen. Josh Allen, when things get tough, he relies on his athleticism. And he tries to make a play running. He thinks he is faster, stronger, bigger than everybody. He'll run backwards. He'll run sideways. I think that's the issue more with Josh Allen. I don't think it has much to do with him hearing stuff from outside. You rely on what got you here. The same way Jackson Dart is saying, I've been playing this way my whole life. I'm going to keep playing this way. That's the same way with Josh Allen. Josh Allen he resorts to athleticism in tough moments. I don't think that has anything to do with outside. I was always bigger, stronger, faster than everybody, so that's what I rely on. Tool man, what's going on? Media looks at things on the first level of analytics, keeping things on the superficial level. If you open your eyes and watch live, you already will see more than them. I agree with that. 92.3 The Fan already saying after looking at the Super Bowl, the Browns are even further away from being a good team. They are the worst. I saw the total opposite once they fixed their O-line and wide receivers. If you are actually consuming football at a normal rate outside of when the Browns season ended, you see that teams are turning it around. Teams are turning things around fast. Teams are turning things around fast. This is the issue. If you stay in the lab only looking at losers, you never know what a winner looks like. People think that teams take 7 years to turn around in the NFL. That's not true. Look at where Seattle Seahawks were 3 years ago, and look at where they are now. Look at where the Patriots were 3 years ago. Look at where they are now. It does not take these teams 7, 8, 10 years to turn things around. And the Cleveland media has to come into the now. I got a clip that we're going to play from Stephen A. Smith, how he saw the change coming, going from journalism, going to radio, going to TV. Cleveland media is covering the game like it's 1994, and they don't have no stats, no film, nothing they can break down. That is a lot of their issue. If you review film, you can see the past media narratives and see the facts the media blatantly ignores because of narrative, because stories get clicks, not facts. Talk to him, Tool Man. Tool Man dropping bars early. CL7 111. Good morning. How you feeling? May needs a new wide receiver one. Diggs is not that guy. Where was he at yesterday? He was a non-factor for the Seattle defense. I put more of that on the quarterback in the scheme. than I do put that on one receiver. I put that way more on the quarterback in the scheme. If the offensive line don't know who to block, the quarterback don't know where guys coming from, wide receivers, they're not gonna get opportunity. Josh just turnover prone. If he could cut the turnovers down some more, he'd be okay. Zedrick, I agree with that. And you see what happened this year. This year in the playoffs, at the end of the first half, he's running the ball's all loose. He fumbles, that leads to a field goal in a close game. So I agree with you there. But that's him leaning on that athleticism. Look at where the Pats were last year. The Pats were 4-13 the last 2 years before this year they made the Super Bowl. It does not take a long time to turn it around. Please hit the like button, y'all. Hit that like button. Teams just need GM to draft and do free agency well. Be decent in the trenches and good coaching. Miss K, that's it. That is it. We got C.A. Anderson making a grand entrance. Let me get this right for y'all.
This is a foolishness.
Good morning, C.A. Anderson. Good morning.
Oh, my God. Wow. I got money.
Shout out to C.A. Anderson. I was going to sing We Are the Champions. My voice is not cooperating today. But shout out to the Seattle Seahawks. You are now champions again. I finally started my day. Winners in the house. Good morning, Barry White. I had so much fun yesterday. You made Gigi's day for sure. Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Shout out to Gigi. Shout out to you. We're gonna get to this is a perfect segue to open up the show. We did something special for the playoffs this year. So shout out to C.A. Anderson coming in. Winners win. Winners win. Let's do this, y'all. Let's get to it now. Let's go here. Let's do this. So, I wanted an interesting way for us to all pay attention to the playoffs and watch the playoffs together. So I came up with the idea to do an off-the-record NFL playoff challenge. We did that for anybody who was on Patreon, free or paid membership. So much fun. We're going to do it again next year. But this is what we did. Harrison Sports, good morning. How you feeling? So this, I'm just going to recap, how things went. Because I think this was a success. It was a success. This is the first leaderboard. Shanithia started out the gate hot. Deshaun B right behind her. It stayed the same. Shanithia still hot. Shanithia was on fire. Laurie, good morning. What's going on? Laurie, I'm getting more active on my X account with posting clips and stuff over there. So I appreciate you for the repost, and I'm making sure when I go live, it actually posts the proper stream. So shout out to you. I saw you reposting my stuff and definitely sending some attention my way. So I said, you know what? I got to put in that effort. So that's why you're seeing more clips and stuff over there on X. So shout out to you, Laurie. Good morning, Jackie. Good morning. Shanithia started this thing off hot. She was still in the lead. Every correct pick, you get 5 points per game. We are watching it. C.A. Anderson comes out of nowhere to tie and take the lead going into the Super Bowl, y'all. Going into the Super Bowl. Now, the Super Bowl happened. We had two people tie for the Super Bowl. And for the tiebreaker, it was you predicting the final score, the closest total number of points without going over. And it came down to a tiebreaker in the first year. It came down to a tiebreaker. Y'all see it 50-50. And our first ever off-the-record NFL playoff champion is C.A. Anderson. Shout out to C.A. Anderson. She won the first off-the-record NFL playoff challenge. As promised, the prize is a Shedeur /Browns swag. So C.A. Anderson, that's what I need you to do. I need you to DM me on Patreon your jersey size, t-shirt size, and the address where you would like your prize sent. So DM me on Patreon. Make sure it's the actual DM and not the group chat, so you're not sending everything out there. Make sure you do that. And C.A. Anderson, I think you read my mind. So I was looking at this last night, and I said, you know what? Let's rewind this thing back. Latika, she was right there the whole time. She caught up. She tied. If the Seattle Seahawks would not have got a holding call, Latika would have won with that touchdown because she would have been closer to the total score. So you know what I said? We're going to have two winners, y'all. We're going to have two winners. We got two winners. We have the champion, who is C.A. Anderson, and we have the winner, who is Latika. So, Latika, I need you. DM me on Patreon. DM me your t-shirt size. You get in the prize as well. This has been so much fun. Spending the playoffs with y'all. Us watching these games together. Us doing the watch parties. Everybody picking. And I hope y'all see that when you pay attention to sports in one playoff season, y'all are watching and y'all are getting more experience and more understanding of the game. In one season, y'all, one playoff season, y'all were able to pick. So if every game is 5 points, this means they at least picked 10 games right in the playoffs, y'all. 10 correct playoff winners. 10 correct playoff winners. This is what they did. This is a big accomplishment because if you watch anybody, how many people pick 10 correct winners, y'all? That's on ESPN. They get paid millions to do this. They didn't pick the playoffs as well as y'all. They didn't do it as well as y'all. They didn't have the time. They didn't enjoy it like y'all did. So I was like, you know what? We're going to have a champion and a winner. A champion and a winner. So shout out to everybody who participated. Shout out to everybody. We're going to get them their prizes. And then when y'all get y'all prizes, all I ask of y'all is to put a picture in the group chat when you receive your prizes so we can show everybody what y'all won. So shout out to everybody. This was a ton of fun, y'all. This was a ton of fun. We're going to do this thing again next year, y'all. We're going to do it again next year. So when y'all see the prizes, y'all go look at it and say, when D says we doing another playoff challenge, make sure you join in. Make sure you join in. So shout out to y'all. It was a perfect segue. Perfect segue with C.A. Anderson coming in here. Shout out to my dog, Harris Room Sports.
Oh my God! Wow! I got money.
Shout out to Harris Room Sports. Shout out to Harris Room Sports. I can support this. I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you. Just something that we did, to spend time together, watch the game, grow our understanding of the game, see what good players look like, see what good schemes look like, and it was a great time. It was a great time. So next year, y'all, you don't want to miss it. You don't want to miss it. You don't want to miss it. So shout out to those two lovely ladies. Shout out to C.A. Anderson. Shout out to Latika. Shout out to both of y'all. Shout out to both of y'all. Fantasy, I don't know if I would do fantasy, man. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work to maintain fantasy too, man. I don't know if maybe I would join a fantasy league. I don't know if I would manage one. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. But shout out to everybody for participating. Shout out to everybody. Let's get this show started, y'all. Let's get this show started. I got some motivation. Coming from David Banner. David Banner. Let me get David Banner on the screen. Where you at, David Banner? Here you go. David Banner. I was watching something and I saw this, and David Banner is going to talk about one of the books that I always talk about. And I was like, I got to play this for y'all. So let's get it. Let's get going. We're going to get the show started. David Banner, talk to him.
Call me back in 5 minutes. Said Meth said call him tomorrow. Here go his number. So I called Method the next day. He did the verse the next day. He said, I got to go. My daughter's graduating. I had a verse tomorrow. So I called him. I was like, Meth, like, why? Like, bro, you don't know me. Why you do that? He said, because I'm on Black Twitter, and Black Twitter say protect David Banner, so I'm going to listen. So we got cool, and I called him one day because I saw his transformation. And I said, Meth, bro, I can't sleep, dog. And he was like, Banner, the same thing happened to me. And he was like, bro, that's when he said he started going to the gym. He said the gym in New York opens up at 4:30, and I couldn't sleep anyway, so I just started going to the gym. He said, Banner, the common denominator in everything that you go through is you. So you have to change you. So, bro, I started going to the gym every day but Sunday. And even the days that I didn't want to go, I would just go and sit out in the parking lot. A wise man told me, he said, you know what the heaviest weight in the gym is? What do you think it is, big boy?
You.
Nope.
What?
The front door. If you can't open the front door, you can't get to no weight anyway. So that is the heaviest thing, because we don't go. We stop going. Even if there's a book called Atomic Habits, and they say that in Atomic Habits. I'm serious, y'all. This sounds crazy, but even if you go and work out for 1 minute, it will stop you from having that bad habits, because weeds grow quicker than fruit. So if you don't go one day will turn into 2 weeks, or turn into
man.
2 years,
Don't I
and then
know
you
it?
dead.
Don't I know it?
So just go for that 1 minute. Go and sit in that parking lot, bro. And I did it.
Man, I never walked out of working out where I was like, man, I hate I did that.
Mm-hmm.
Visit my friend.
Y'all. Y'all already know I love the book Atomic Habits. Atomic Habits, just getting 1% better daily. Just adding something into your normal routine that you want to get better at. Since I read that book, I read it about probably twice. Since I read that book, it's been so many things I've been able to add to my routine. I'll show y'all something. Let me see. So when we were talking about languages yesterday too, man, I know it's not the best one, but let me show y'all my streak. So I'm gonna show y'all my streak. So I like to learn. If you haven't noticed that about me, I like to learn about new things. I'm very curious to different cultures, languages, all those things. So one of the things I use is just to take my mind off of everything. I started doing stuff with different languages. So this is not a promo or anything like that, but just to show y'all, this is Duolingo. So I'm learning Spanish on here. I was using it to learn Creole as well. Let me see if it'll get clear. I don't know if it will, but if you see right there, it's showing 1,315 days. That's how many days I've done at least one lesson to learn either Spanish or Creole. I did a lot of it with Creole at first, and then I switched over to Spanish. But it's just adding something every single day, and only getting better 1%. Even going in there, you go in there, you do that one rep. That's another day. You stayed true to doing what your goal was. It's such a small thing, but just having that streak going. Part of what keeps me going and doing Duolingo is I don't want to lose my streak. Now I've done this thing so many years in a row. I don't want to lose my streak. Y'all should see me. It resets at midnight. If I'm up working late or something like that, and it's like it's 11:54, you'll see me grabbing my phone to go knock out a lesson to make sure I'm staying on top of it. The son eres estás, that's killing me right now in Spanish, but I'm figuring it out. One is a descriptor, one is a place. I'm figuring it out. It's kicking my butt right now, but I'm figuring it out, and I'm showing up every day. So even when stuff get hard, if you ever set goals, make sure you just get better 1% daily, because over time it'll compound and it'll turn into a lot. So I thought that was great motivation. That was great motivation right there by David Banner. Shout out to David Banner. Great motivation by David Banner right there. I love it, D. You are the real winner. I appreciate you. I'm glad y'all enjoyed it. That's deep. Just sit it in the parking lot. Go in there, get one rep. Get that one rep. The hardest thing to do is to take that first step, make the move. So, man, that's it. On anything you want to do, make that first step. Of going to do it. Oh, he is on point. He was really on point in this. I had to show y'all. Yes, I read that book twice. A very good book. Especially as he talks about him getting better in baseball when he was younger. So just a really, really good book. That's a great mindset to have. I'm telling y'all, since I read that book, I've been different. I bought me a treadmill and use it every day now after reading this book. It's a habit now. There you go. And just making it an easily achievable habit. So people think you got to challenge yourself with something hard. No, challenge yourself. You get a treadmill to slide right up under the couch, pull it from up under the couch, say, I'm going to do 10 minutes a day walking on the treadmill while I'm doing something else. And then it'll just be part of your routine. So very, very, very good book. Good motivation, going to have to work this in. It's good. I need to get that book. Atomic Habits is the book. Detroit Gemini, Atomic Habits. It's a great book. That's also me on the Bible app. I will not miss a day in my That's also me on the Bible app. I will not miss a day in my Bible. That's it. Show up every single day. And just that 1% better understanding It gets you to where you're trying to go. I thought y'all would like that. I enjoyed that, so I wanted to share it with y'all. Asante, what's going on? How you feeling? Laurie is reading it now on chapter 3. Funny thing was, if you've been watching me for some months, you know I'm always talking about Atomic Habits. I probably used to talk about that book so much that people thought I had a sponsorship for it. So then I had to try to make myself stop talking about it as much, because I will always have a reason to throw in Atomic Habits. Always had a reason, y'all. I always had a reason. All right, y'all. So let's get this show going. This is Skip and Stephen A. getting back together. But y'all know I've been showing y'all how media has been falling behind. So here they're going to talk about their transition as they move forward from journalists, beat reporters, to radio, and then to media and TV. So just want to show y'all, because I've been showing y'all people are behind in the media space. Let's get to it. Let's hear him. Also, Larry Brown taught him something good. Let's hear it.
There's this big mall in Pennsylvania. It's called King of Prussia. Mm-hmm. And one of these days, Larry Brown, I saw Pat Croce with these pair of smooth-ass Italian shoes. And I'm like, I like those. And he was like, I said, how much are they? He said, I don't worry about it. Because I said, I want to know. He's like, $600. $600. $600. That's a lot of money. I'm on the newspaper salary. I'm not paying that. And Larry Brown just walked over because he heard us talking. He shook his head. He was like, that's what's holding you back. You thinking about where you are. I want you to think about where you're going. Exactly. So I thought about that, right? And I said, I'm going to go look for these shoes, right? So I go to the King of Prussia Mall, and I literally stroll down the escalator, and some dude is at the bottom of the stairs waiting for me. And I said, who are you? He said, we were expecting you. Larry Brown called. Here are the shoes.
Oh, wow.
He said, no, it's $600. He said, pay for it. I said, $600? He said, yep, no excuses. And I paid for those shoes, and it was like, that story stays with me because my cousins would be, or my sisters would be reminding me it's a suit. It's $500 at the time or $800, and I would have a heart attack. And now it's like, I don't think about it because I'm talking about before I got paid. It's like, nah, because I'm trying to be about where I was going. And to speak to your point about the industry, yeah, you're going to have people that's jealous or whatever, but you're absolutely right. We revolutionized it, but let's understand why. We saw the forest from the trees. Both of us were in newspapers. We saw the industry dying.
Yes, sir.
We saw them transitioning from that to .com. We saw, and we would sit up there and we would run in the radio hosts. Didn't know shit. And they would sit up there going like this. Now, how much, we making $75,000, $100,000. These cats making $300,000, $400,000
Right.
just to talk for 2 hours on the radio. I was like, I need to find out more about that industry. Right. And then don't get me started once I learned about television. How much you get paid? Oh, really?
A couple good points there. Now, the motivational point is what Larry Brown told him. He told him it's not where you're at, it's where you're going, which that is good. But I played this to show y'all that media changes over time. And we are watching the Cleveland media. Not keep up with the times. Last stream I showed y'all, I said, Tony Grossi is behind. He's talking about things that we spoke about a month and a half previously. Mary Kay is talking about accreditation on X, like it makes a difference. The media landscape is changing to people who have an opinion. It's moving from people who are just a microphone who are saying something that could be a release on X. The Browns can release the injury report. This is what I want y'all to do. The next information that the Browns release, look at who retweets that information. You're going to see every beat reporter all retweet the same information that the Browns just sent us. Why do we need to go follow the beat reporter if they just tell us what the Browns said? The landscape is changing. It's changing. The thing that I think people enjoy the most about independent media is independent media has an opinion. If somebody doesn't have an opinion, what is the point in watching them? And we are watching the beat writers who came from a journalist background. They're being left behind and they don't even realize it. It's almost nothing they can do to catch up because they don't think they're being left behind. Tony Grossi doesn't think he's being left behind. Mary Kay does not think she's being left behind. They are stuck in the 90s, y'all. They stuck in the 90s. So I thought y'all would get a kick out of this. I've been showing y'all how everybody can identify the media landscape changing except for the Cleveland media. They still think that radio and writing articles is the way to go. So, hey, do what you do. Do what you do. We not gonna force you to come into the new generation. We just gonna let you be what it is. Facts. Mary Kay and Tony Grossi better get on board, or they will be left behind. I think they're gonna be left behind. I think they're gonna be left behind because they're not seeing it. They are not seeing it. Things are evolving, but they stuck in the 90s and the early 2000s. They are. They need to retire if they don't want to move forward. Media constantly changing. It is. What they're going to do is they're going to take shots at the athletes and all this stuff, and the athletes don't know what they're talking about. They're going to do all that stuff. But the true fact is it's not really the athlete that's moving the needle. It's the independent people who spend a bunch of time learning the sport, researching the sport, and moving forward. That's who they got to worry about. The athlete is the least of their issues. The least of their issues. Athletes are not doing streams 3 and 4 days a week. It's the people like me who do 3 streams a week and then during the season do a watch party. Somebody who does similar to what I do, covering the team, is who they need to worry about. Not the athlete. Not the athlete.
Oh my God! Wow! I got money.
Shout out to Charmaine. Charmaine, I appreciate you. Longtime supporter. I appreciate you. She sends a super sticker and she said, thanks for being you. I appreciate you. And I always tell y'all, even in my Barry White voice, I appreciate the fact that y'all let me be who I am. Everybody doesn't have that freedom to show up, turn on the camera, turn on their mic, hit go live and be who they are. But y'all allow me to do that. So I can't appreciate y'all enough for that. I appreciate you. Thank you, Charmaine. Yeah, D, we know in HR, change is always happening. Did you ever read Who Moved by Cheese? It's what's happening to the Cleveland media. I did not, but let me write that down. Y'all know I'm a little old school. I be writing down notes if it's something good, so let me write that down. That was part of the reason why I got out of HR. Part of the reason why I got out of HR was I thought they could automate our jobs. I was like, man, if I stay in here too long, they're gonna automate our jobs. They're gonna do it, and that's what happened. Let me write that down. My pen don't want to work. There we go. Yeah, I'm gonna check that out, Detroit Gemini. Yeah, but I thought, I was like, man, they can automate our jobs. They could eliminate so many roles, and then they end up doing that. They end up doing it. I get most of my news from X. I saw COVID happen in November 2019 because I was on X, not from the TV news. For real. They're already left behind. They are. They just falling further behind. You're going to see a change this season with the media. I see Cameron Justice coming in and doing more coverage. Yes, she's more of a fair reporter, I would call her. So they're going to keep inviting her in. That's why they can't stand well off for other platforms like that. It's just Maya. I agree. This week, they will try to discredit what Myles said about Shedeur. Wonder what Jason Lloyd will say about it. Anytime Jason Lloyd talking, this is what I hear.
Have you ever had a dream that you could do so?
That's what I hear when Jason Lloyd talk. I don't even hear nothing. But that's a good book. It's old school for sure. Yeah, I'm gonna check it out. I'm gonna check it out for sure. Wonder will Cleveland get some new media transfers? Need to replace some of the old guard. I don't know if new people will transfer in. I think, to me, what will happen is people will just move away from who they listen to. They'll just move away from, because everything is digital now. Had my wife buy mask and PPE in December, end of January. Price had quadrupled February. You couldn't find it. We don't need the media the way we used to. You don't. Everything is direct to consumer. Direct to consumer. I only listen to media to see how far behind and wrong they are. As we watch things, you see it more in real time how wrong they are. I believe Coach Todd will rearrange some things on the Cleveland media too. Yeah, they're not gonna be leaking stuff, so he's not gonna be giving people the shine. He's not gonna give them the shine. Let's keep it moving forward. What we got next on the docket? All right, we got Asante Samuel.
Flat because Drake May was so.
We got Asante Samuel speaking on Drake May. Now, we are going to play Asante Samuel first because we're going to see how he speaks on Drake's May, and then we're going to see how Get Up spoke on him. Play the Jason Lloyd voice again. That's Jason Lloyd.
Have you ever had a dreams that you want
That's all I hear when he be talking. D, let's get you a media pass and get you the title of official podcast of the Cleveland Browns. Get you a bump over the barbershop. I appreciate the sentiment. I'm looking into it. The NFL is supposedly going to start looking at people who cover teams independently because they still want you to write articles. So, I mean, the way to get around that is I'm not going to bore you all with the details, but it's a way to get around writing the articles and just put articles out to get your media credentials. But I just want to be viewed. I want to be viewed for what I do and what I say. I don't kind of want to play that old game, but I'm definitely looking more and more into it. I don't know if I want to be the official podcast of the Cleveland Browns because I don't think they're going to like how critical I could be at times. So I don't know if they're going to officially give me that stamp. But, you know, D, can the Browns get rid of Tony G and Mary Kay? They could not. They could. This is what they could do. They could revoke their media pass. But it's going to be crazy because they would set a new precedent for taking their media passes away because they don't work for the Browns. Mary Kay works for Cleveland.com, and Tony Grossi, I don't even know who he worked for, but they get paid by another entity, not the Browns. Mainstream media is no longer reliable. They will soon be part of history like newspapers. Flower Blue, that's a fact. In my opinion, people like D and other content creators should challenge the pundits like Jason Lloyd, but regular content consumers should just ignore idiots like him. That's why I always, if you notice, if you watch me this whole season, if you notice, the people I go at the most are the people who have the microphone, not the players. I go at the people who have the microphone because the people who have the microphone, they don't have the credibility to speak on things the way they should. So if you go back and you try to figure out, if you want to know what was the sole purpose or the sole thing I wanted to explain this entire year was I wanted to expose that the people who are being listened to have no understanding. So it started. I was on the Mary Kay train telling people, hey, she don't know what you're talking about. Tony Grossi, he don't know what he's talking about. Go back, look at my first videos. Adam the Bull, he don't know what he's talking about. He crossed the line. Jay Crawford, Jason Lloyd. I call these people out by name. So I'm calling them out by name, and I'm telling y'all, they don't know what they're talking about. If you notice, none of these people have ever came back and said, what you said about me wasn't true, because I use their words. I don't got to twist it. I don't got to make up stories. I don't got to do extra. My whole goal was to show y'all my understanding is on a higher level of the game of football than theirs. So why should you listen to them? So hopefully y'all noticed it. Sorry, but Drake was trash. That's funny you say that, Charmaine. That's the same thing Asante is going to say. Saying a bunch of nothing, whole bunch of nothing. Yes, Who Moved the Cheese is good too. I'm definitely going to check it out. Go ahead, D. We'll have you back in Cleveland. Yeah, I just, and another thing, like, I don't want to be too close because you get tied to people when you stand next to them. So I'm very conscious of who I stand next to. You know, so I think that's what I do. Yeah, they won't like you, D. Nah, because I can't just, if you do something bad, I'm not just going to say, oh, he did it good because he told me something. It's like, nah. When you tell it like it is, sometimes you bring honey, sometimes you bring the wrong end of the bee. For real, you get stung. Hold on, y'all. I've never seen the local media hate on their own team like the Browns media. It's something else. Truth tellers get blackballed. That's a fact. The Browns are simply icing people like Mary Kay and Grossi out, which is reflected in their non-stories currently. For real, they so far behind. So far behind. You can easily write those articles. They are so lackluster. Every time I read one, they give little info at a 4th grade reading level. I'll be like, why did I waste my time reading this? Detroit Gemini, you want the inside scoop? You want to know what's happening? Should I just expose it? Because I was hesitant to expose what they're doing earlier. Should I just, Detroit Gemini, let me know. If you want to know, I'll tell you what you're seeing in those articles. I'll tell you. Just let me know. Most of his passing yards were garbage time. I agree. And sometimes you have to use tact. The way you speak your truth still have to be respectful to the opinion. The opinion media can be crude. I can turn that off if I don't like them. For real. Is there an unwritten expectation from the new head coaching staff to feed local media info in order to get favorable content? No. That's a Cleveland media thing. If you notice, there are other people in other places who cover teams, and they don't go based off inside information. They go more based off their knowledge. So that's a Cleveland thing. Detroit Gemini says yes. Okay. Detroit Gemini, this is what they're doing. That's why I said I didn't want to take this route, because you can't do this. So everybody knows that AI is here. You can use it for productivity. So what they do is they take themselves, they record themselves in press conferences. They record themselves when they are listening to Shedeur speak at a press conference, a coach speak at a press conference. And all they do is feed it into AI, and the AI is writing the articles, and then they change certain words in the article to kind of dumb it down to make it easily digestible. So if you notice, everything is surface level for a reason. It matches their level of understanding, and they use the AI in a way to just dumb it down. I could put out an article. I could put out hundreds of articles. That's why I don't really want to go that route, because I could just feed my YouTube streams in the AI. This thing can write me millions of articles. But that's what they're doing, y'all. They're not even writing the articles. So it's no build up. It's no draw. The only thing they use is a click heavy title for their titles. That's the only thing they use. But if you notice, it's not that much substance in their stuff. And that's because they're using base level AI to write it. Once you see it, you can't unsee it, y'all. And they wouldn't like me uncovering secrets and telling y'all, just like I told y'all that, you can see when people don't change the email and they use the same email for the different YouTubers, you can see who is actually watching you. So it's stuff like that I would just say. They don't want me to say it. They don't want me giving up the secrets. Notice they haven't even given her an exclusive with Mucking. They went right to Cam Justice. They went right to Cam Justice. ESPN don't want to talk bad about May because they don't want to lose their job if they make certain quarterbacks look too bad. And that couldn't be me, because I would just tell people what it is. Mary Kay is woke DEI hire. She never played football in life. She doesn't know what it takes, how much work off season you do, and how it translates to the field. Lack of understanding. His body language when Tony and Mary Kay asked him questions were very telling. He not messing with them at all. Not at all. That's trifling on their part. Zedric, it is what it is, man. Like, I was going to hold it in. I wasn't going to put it out there, but I'm telling y'all, just read. Look at any person. That's all I want y'all to do. Look at any person who covers the Cleveland Browns, who has their stories written as articles on an online website. It's just going to mirror what they put out in a video. And that's their workaround. So they can put out articles on the Browns so they can maintain their media access. That's what they're doing. The military couldn't teach things above 6th grade because people, the majority of them can't understand more than that. Today, it feels like it's even worse than my day. Oh yeah, it's definitely dumbed down. But D is easy to tell. It's a whole lot of those YouTubers doing the AI thing. They are. But I think it's different coming from a journalist because you assume that the journalist is writing their articles. You would assume that it's their words. You would not assume it's AI. It was big magazines that got busted for this. I'm not gonna put no smut on nobody's name, but it was about 4 years ago. If y'all just want to search some large magazines that got busted for using AI to write their articles. just Google search it, y'all. I started reading those articles a long time ago. They ain't talk about nothing at all, because it's like a quota. So to get an NFL media pass, you have to write a certain amount of articles speaking on a team. You got to write a certain amount of articles speaking on a team. So instead of you just personally spending all this time writing the articles, they just using AI to pump the articles out, so they maintain the amount of articles that they need to have written to maintain their media pass. All right, I gave y'all enough insight. I gave y'all enough insight on what they doing, how they skirting the system. But that's what they doing. I never read the articles. I ride by, I keep on going. Man, these commercials seem to have found me this morning. The commercials getting you, it's on low. It's on low. Hopefully I don't put you too far back in the stream. On Mary Kay, unless you walk the walk and carry cross talking about the cross, lacks the understanding and appreciation for what it takes. She does. Toolman put it in the chat. Toolman put it in the chat for y'all if y'all were curious who I was talking about. If y'all were curious. Woke DEI, heck, these people talking about their media is supposed to be subjective and opinionated at times. That's the Cleveland media in a nutshell. They need stronger criteria than to get them credentialed. It's a way around that too. So what you can do is you could join. I'm giving y'all all the scoop today. You can join a writers association. You could join like I showed y'all Black Sports Online. Black Sports Online. This is an example. I'm not saying I'm doing this or anything. Black Sports Online is always looking for new contributors. So I can say, hey, I cover the Browns. Black Sports Online. Let's do a partnership where I'll write for you. I'll give you XYZ amount of articles a week. You help me get my media credentials. You get me access, my media access. So it's a couple different ways around it. But if you notice, all the people, not all, majority of the people who have media access are over a certain age. This is not age shaming, but this is just showing you the standard is the old way of how they did business. That's what I'm trying to show you with that. So, they weren't the only ones though. Toolman putting it out there. Let's get to Asante, Samuel. Let's get to Asante. Let's push it forward. Asante, what did you see from Drake May?
Intimidated by the Seahawks rush that he got the ball out so fast and didn't give the wide receiver enough time to run the cornerback off and prevent him from making a play on the back, So that was another issue,
Yeah. And Seahawks was bringing the pressure from all different angles, from corners, from safeties, from linebackers. Like they was mixing it up on the blitz, bringing it all different ways. Did you blitz a lot as a corner?
No, I didn't blitz a lot, man. They would always send the blitz away from me and give it to another corner. They would always get the blitz to another corner. But for the Patriots too, man, they have a hell of defense, man. They have a hell of a defense, and I don't
know if I started this at the right part. It's a part he's gonna say Drake May played trash. I must have missed it. D, we need you at the Athletic to take Jason's job. The Athletic is the Athletic. I'm very careful who I align myself with, and I just rather stay independent. Daniel Awuzie is one of the more popular ones here in Cleveland. He is, and if you notice, his approach is different because he actually covered. I think he covered the Miami Dolphins. He covered the Baltimore Ravens. He's covered other teams. So if you notice, his approach is totally different than everybody who's only covered the Browns. Man, where's the part? Let me see. Let's see if I can find it real quick.
As well as a good receiver for Drake May, you know what I mean? So Diggs turned out to be one of the best free agent pickups for the New England Patriots. Those plays was very impressive. You know, he kept his composure. You know, Sam Darnold was making the Patriots in team by sending after that Carolina Panthers.
That made him for this moment right here for him to overcome all that to do this, man.
Man. But Kenneth Walker made the difference in this game for Seattle. To be honest,
MVP right.
Those third downs, I'm sorry, he threw the ball to the flat too quickly, and I think he called the game right. He called a good defensive game, man, and he gave Sam Darnold a bunch of different looks. He was.
I want to find this one part.
Pressures
he's talking about
at the Seattle Seahawks defense, offense, and Sam Darnold, you know, and that he likely hadn't seen all season or on film. Step up tonight in this game, you know, and he's gonna have a hard time all week. He's gonna have a hard time all week, you know.
Yeah, I think until you step back on the field, probably.
I can't find it, but he just called it out. He said that Cam Newton is going to be feeling good today because he called it out, and he's also going to say that just Drake May played like trash. I lost the spot in the video. Well, in Cleveland, it's hard to tell the good reporter because there are a lot of bad. Yeah, it's like 90-10. 90% you want to skip, 10% you want to listen to. I don't see you fitting in at the Athletic. Nah, I wouldn't fit in there. Me either. Stay independent, for real. I like my independence. He ain't lying. He did play terrible. Just like I thought Drake may use his white tears for sympathy, shaking my head. This is why I don't respect him or Josh Allen. Lamar don't cry for sympathy and media kills him. I think it's at the beginning. Let me go to the beginning.
50 interceptions during the 16-game season era. Man, we didn't get.
Is a starting quarterback on a Super Bowl team. I would never ever guess that in life that Sam Darnold would be a starting quarterback on a Super Bowl team. But his team got it done, man. Shout out to the Seahawks. Y'all are the champs.
Man, shout out to the Seahawks. Like I said, it's a wrap for the 2025.
I think it's in the video. Let me find it real quick, y'all. Because I want y'all to hear how blunt he is when he says it. He just says it very blunt and clear. Very blunt and clear. Let me find it real quick. Even the ones that appear good in Cleveland at first got a stink on them. I agree with that. Look at Zach Jackson. Yes, Walker was the MVP. We need Junkins to take note from him. They are around the same size. It's also the system. They gotta have a good system around Quinshawn. They gotta have a good system around him with how they run the ball. Let me see if I can find this real quick. Because I want y'all to hear what Asante is gonna say. Where is it at?
He started when he left the Cowboys. He said, "Man, I love Dallas. That's my home, but I know I can't win there." He ended up going to a new team this year and winning the Super Bowl. Man, he kind of like called it out at the beginning of the season. He went to go win the Super Bowl. He did it.
Do you know who smiling from ear to ear, cheesing? I mean, they was extremely happy watching the Super Bowl. They feel like they know much more than everyone else that's watching football and being an analyst and things like that. Who do y'all think I'm talking about that watched this game that is extremely happy? Anyone knows? In the chat, Drees, does anyone have a clue? There is someone that is happy and said, "I told you."
Who was that? Tom Brady?
Cam Newton.
Okay, Cam Newton.
Cam Newton, the good brother Cam Newton. I know Cam Newton is somewhere rubbing his hands together like Birdman, smiling from ear to ear.
Remember I broke down the Cam Newton thing and I said we're just going to use this to level set to show how they attack Cam Newton. They never attack his points. I couldn't find the other part I wanted y'all to hear, but I want y'all to hear that. Now let's hear some of the excuses. Let's get to the excuses.
Look at the squad that we've put together here today. Traeger's here, Shefty is here, this squad is here, and we are ready to roll through what was an absolutely dominating performance by what might have been an all-time great defense. What can they do to change it? What can the Patriots do? They had no answers. Was there anything that you could see that they could have tried that they did not? They clearly just had no
shot.
answer.
New England didn't belong in the same field as Seattle defensively. This was, if you didn't see this coming, you haven't watched this defense in Seattle play. And the way it's the people that they have to create those one-on-ones.
Now they didn't belong on the field with him. They didn't belong on the field with him? Dan, did you ever say this before the Super Bowl? That they didn't belong on the field with him? It was nothing they could do? Did you ever say this before? Did you ever say this before it actually happened, or are you saying this afterwards? I don't ever recall you saying this, Dan. Let's hear your excuse. I'm going to skip where you're showing the play, but let's hear your excuse. What's your excuse? That guy knew what he was doing when he called Shedeur supporters a cult. They think we're dumb. Not whatsoever. In my prime voice. Yeah. We got that. We got that coming up. Oh boy, here come the excuses for real. D.O. couldn't wait to make an excuse this morning. I bet he was ready.
Pass catch offense. The second thing is we call these Sam Will, so double edges. Eamon Worry at the bottom. Here comes Witherspoon at top. You have to send people to the bottom of the screen, but they drop out the backside linebacker. Now Witherspoon gets on the right tackle. Athletically in space, that's just an advantage to the defense, but mathematically, the Patriots are doing the right thing. Once again, is anybody available for the quarterback to throw the football?
Hold on. This is the Super Bowl. This team made it all the way to the Super Bowl. Now we're saying the scheme wasn't good. They never going to say the quarterback wasn't good. They're going to say the scheme and they shouldn't have been on the field with him. But somehow these same people, after 7 games, Shedeur should have elevated the Cleveland Browns. Make it make sense, y'all. Make it make sense. How does this make sense? If you cover all of them with the same, if you cover every quarterback the same way, you're not doing this. Make it make sense. Jason Lloyd sat up there and said Shedeur should have elevated the play of his team. The team in the Super Bowl, the quarterback, the team let him down, not him. He been taking sacks in every single postseason game. That's why I showed y'all how many sacks he was taking. He took the most sacks in playoff history. Drake May. That's more than just this game. More than just this game. More than just this game, y'all. They couldn't wait to find the excuses for him. They breaking down film. How many times did we see them break down film on Shedeur and say they're hot and they don't have a hot answer? They don't have anybody coming out the backfield. Do y'all remember I was telling y'all sometimes the way they schemed up plays, it was no hot read? Now, you want to go into the scheme? The same scheme that worked well enough to get them to the Super Bowl. What we doing, y'all? What we doing? Folks keep saying, well, it's only his second year. Extend that same grace to 12. That's it. Only Shedeur's interceptions are newsworthy. Flower blue. That's so true. Cam's takes are on point, spoken from experience and facts. It is wonderful seeing the media parrot his takes after being right or attacking him when they can't counter his facts. They couldn't counter his stuff about the quarterback that's being released in Atlanta, Kirk Cousins. They couldn't say anything about that. They couldn't say anything about him calling out Drake May. They couldn't say anything about that. Now this is the same guy who was second in the MVP voting, but now it's not on him. So maybe he shouldn't have been that high in the MVP. Maybe the team should have been up there and not him because the team carried him. Come on, I'm just trying to keep up with this logic y'all losing. It ain't making sense to me. My assessment is Drake May is not that good. It would have been a travesty if he would have won the MVP over Stafford. This is what I'm going to say about Drake May. Y'all have heard me say, I want my quarterback to think the game before athleticism. A lot of times this year in key moments, Drake May scrambled and just ran out the pocket. He was not able to dissect in real time what was happening. So that's what happened to him. When I say stuff, and in the moment, people think it sounds crazy. But that's why I'm saying, everybody's saying, oh, you want the athlete. Okay. When everything breaks down, you're going to go to what feels the most natural to you. If your brain and you breaking down the defense is what's natural to you, that's what you're going to use. If it's you taking off and running, that's what you're going to use. Look at all the key plays in the New England Patriots playoff run. It's going to be Drake May scrambling and running somewhere to seal games, not him breaking down what is happening in the secondary and making the throw. Hopefully y'all see it. Cam Robinson was getting Shedeur slaughtered, and all they said was he holds onto the ball too long. For real. Seattle schemed against a rookie, and May played like a nervous rookie. Early on, I thought he was nervous. He looked nervous. Holds onto the ball. I got you. It was only his second year. Wow, I can't. If it was Shedeur, he would have been nailed to the cross. I agree. Myles sacked Drake May 5 times in a game that they played against the Browns. He did. I have a different take on Dre. He takes too long in assessing the field, and Seattle schemed to play to make it impossible to make a good read. This game was won because Seattle outcoached the Pats. I agree with that, and it was times where they gave him where he should have ran, but they had him so spooked to ran, he wouldn't run when the opportunities to run was there. He had opportunities to run, he wouldn't run. They laid a lot at May's feet. I think he'll bounce back, but I don't see the Super Bowl. It's hard. Excuses for a second-year QB. This is what I mean. They're not going to talk about certain quarterbacks. They are not. They're not. Don't seem like Drake could read defenses last night. Kind of weird to watch. It's because so I've been talking about the Seattle defense and how they make their front seven interchangeable. It throws you off when you have guys. Tom Brady spoke on this with the numbers. He didn't like that they allow like linebackers to wear low numbers because you can't identify who is who. So when you can have your whole front seven rush or drop back in coverage, that is going to throw off a quarterback. And it's something I highlighted that they use a lot. So even if they send 4, the 4 don't always have to be down linemen. They don't have a problem dropping D tackles, D ends, linebackers in the coverage, blitz in the corner, which you thinking you got 6 or 7 coming. It's only 4 rushers. They still got 7 in coverage. That's what they do so well in Seattle. And I've been trying to explain that since the playoffs have been here. This is where they're going to confuse people. And that's what they did. Cam would have been nailed to the cross. As a matter of fact, when Cam lost the Super Bowl, he should have won. He never got a second chance. Yeah, it's no guarantee you're going to make it back. Burrow might not get another chance either. Might not. Let's keep it pushing. Now,
Darnold or Sam Darnold.
Let me pause. Why all my times change? All my times change on these videos, but I'm going to update it. So, when it comes to people who evaluate quarterbacks, after you watch this playoffs, Sam Darnold was labeled a bust. He was seeing ghosts. They was always mocking him for it. Should we blindly believe the people who hype up the quarterback? Because they got it wrong on Sam Darnold. He proved it in Minnesota. He proved it again this year by winning the Super Bowl. Do the people who evaluate quarterbacks hold any credibility after what we just witnessed? Remember who I'm always going at, y'all. Let me rewind this back a little bit. I don't know why all my times are off. I think I wanted to start this a lot earlier. I wanted to start it about here. Brady is special, not only how many times he got to the game, but how many times he should have won and did, and the times he should have not and lost. Yeah, it's not going to, I don't see nobody else doing it that many times, making it that many times. Let's listen to what they say about Sam Darnold.
Yeah, he was. He had more picks than touchdowns.
Here we go. Let's go back just a little bit.
Talk about him with the Joe Burrows, the Lamar Jackson, the Josh Allen, the Pat Mahomes, the Jalen Hurts. But now we have to. Now he enters those conversations where we talk about some of the better quarterbacks in the NFL. And it's so funny, not that far removed, we thought he was a bust when he was in New York.
Well, he was. I mean, let's not sugarcoat it out. He was. He had more picks than touchdowns. Now, I think the thing is, Ocho, what's so satisfying for him.
Sam did throw a touchdown. He threw the touchdown to the tight end, A.J. Barner. This is my point. Shout out to Shanithia.
Broncos country, let's ride. Broncos country, let's ride.
Come to Offtharecorddee, where we going to read your super chats. Your voice is going to be heard. What's going on, Shanithia? Sam Darnold's team carried him in the Super Bowl. Sam Darnold was considered a bust by a majority of the NFL. Sam Darnold is now a Super Bowl champion. Sam Darnold put up numbers in Minnesota. He put up numbers this year. Should we believe the evaluators is my question. If the evaluators said you can't win with Sam Darnold because he's a bust based on him being in the Jets, who the Jets still can't get right, based on him being in Carolina, who they're now only starting to get right, is it more the organization or is it more the quarterback? What I believe it is, it's more the organization. Organizations are failing these players. That's what I believe. That's what I believe. You don't think after what Sam Darnold did for Minnesota, the Jets would have took that Sam Darnold, that version of Sam Darnold? You don't think Minnesota, or actually Minnesota fired their GM because they claim he was the one who thought they could move forward with J.J. McCarthy instead of Sam Darnold. So my whole point is teams, organizations, people who evaluate talent, they get it wrong consistently. Their credibility, the way people want to put them up a notch. When everybody said Shedeur shouldn't be in the league, we all pushed back on it. My pushback was they don't always know what they're talking about. Sam Darnold winning the Super Bowl is an example of them not knowing what they're talking about it. That's what it is. That's what it is. Remember who I'm attacking, y'all. I'm not really attacking the player. I'm more so attacking the people. Even Unc in this case said Sam Darnold was a bust. If Sam Darnold was a bust, how come the Jets haven't turned it around since they got rid of him? If it was Sam Darnold and not more on the Jets. Do y'all see y'all see how I'm separating the two and who I'm placing more of the blame on? See what I'm saying? You picking up what I'm putting down? More people who came out here a year ago, who were the people who they quoted as to why Shedeur couldn't be in the NFL? They quoted GMs. They quoted the NFL itself. They quoted teams. They said all those reasons why Shedeur shouldn't be in the NFL. Those same people put labels on players that they put in bad situations. Those same people would take players who they once considered bust. Now you got everybody talking about get the reclamation project. Get the reclamation project. The whole time, my point was, we can't believe these people blindly. Y'all understand football better. Y'all already surpassed the Cleveland media. We proved that with the Off the Record Challenge. Y'all level understanding. Y'all have watched more games. Y'all have seen more film. So putting the people on the pedestal because they have a title, we shouldn't do that anymore. If we start looking at their track record. Oh, you thought this player was going to be good? This player was going to be good? This player was going to be good? Why is it not working? So I'm highlighting that we've allowed people to call people bust when really the organizations have been a bust, the coaches have been a bust, the teams have been bust. That's where the true bust is. If you can't get it right, it's the organization. Because the same just putting it out there. My take, neither had a trait in them that says winner. They are both plug and play guys, not guys that make it happen against all odds. You can't hide behind greatness of others. You got to be great too. You got to do something great. The organization and the players on the team. Patience and supportive environments that can nurture the greatness out of QBs. I like that, Zedric. Depends on the evaluator. Everything has to come together to ensure success. That's why I think being a high draft pick QB could be detrimental. Miss K, I like that a lot. The QB play on both sides was subpar last night. The Seattle defense jump-started their offense. I agree with that. My point is, does Sam Darnold look like a bust and a career backup, or did he look like somebody you can win with? Sam Darnold didn't look like Drake May. Sam Darnold has been called a bust in his career. They make every excuse in the world for Drake May. just putting it out there. Sam Darnold did what he needed to win. Sam has heart, and the organization wasn't a total dumpster fire. Most teams are a dumpster fire. Tua, man, you picking up what I'm putting down? we hold these teams and what they say. We put what they say on the pedestal when they get it wrong so much. That's why the GM got Cam passing up on letting Sam Darnold go. Talk to him. Several foot. I'm trying to break it down. If Kevin was better, the Browns would have been in the playoffs this year. I agree with that. I see Shedeur this year being developed like he should have been last year. That investment, support, and accountability will be essential to getting him a better Browns team. I agree with that. Here's the thing. People will hang on to their wrongness. That's why they keep holding on to the ghost thing that happened in his early 20s. This helped them justify their wrongness. I agree with that, CO7111. To win the Super Bowl is more mental internal thing than physical ability and talent. It's coaching, it's leadership, it's a game of survivor. I like the way you broke that down. We've been seeing organization fail in the team. Look at the Browns. I'm a Browns fan. The Browns have been one of the worst organizations. It don't matter who you bring in here. The Browns always bring guys in and they go somewhere else and play good. That's the point I'm trying to make. If we had listened to Tom Brady talk about evaluating coaches, we would understand why there is a mass exodus of coach switching and firings. I remember nobody else was talking about it. Nobody else was talking about it when I brought that up. It always, the teams and organizations, I've learned this. If I have learned nothing else, the analysts, ex-players don't really know what they're talking about on a consistent basis. Shanithia, you see my point. You see my point. D, did you see Bucky's interview where he didn't like using his real name because it came with so much pressure? That's deep and makes me appreciate Shedeur even more because he don't shy away. Yes, it's a lot of pressure to be a junior. A lot of pressure. My older brother is a junior. What's it saying? It's a copycat league. I never understood that. If I'm paying a GM millions, he better be able to think for himself. Miss K, now you see they don't think for themselves. If I'm JJ McCarthy, I'm sitting quietly right now hoping no one remembers my mediocrity. I think he was a little below that. Sam Darnold says you can call him a Super Bowl winning QB and don't forget it. Talk that talk. Sam Darnold was able to fit into a coach's scheme and was okay. He got it done. But Sam doesn't have to go get it at all costs. But in fairness, he didn't quit. He didn't quit. I think it's overstated the quarterback has to go win the game. If you take, would anybody call Sam Darnold a top 5 QB? Anybody in the chat, would anybody call Sam Darnold a top 5 QB? My answer is no. I'll let y'all answer. You can take a top defense and a top 15 quarterback and win the Super Bowl. That's the point I'm getting at too. You can take a top 15 quarterback and a top defense and win the Super Bowl. And they playing musical chairs with the NFL coaches, just moving them around to a different team. Crown Women Collective, they're just picking, they're digging through the bin of losers to seeing which loser can magically turn into a winner. Now, let me give you all the final point to what I'm saying. The Cleveland media talks about you need this top quarterback. You need a top 5 quarterback. We just watched the Super Bowl be played by a player who was labeled a bust. He's not top 5. It's a fight to get him in the top 10. He just won the Super Bowl because you had a defense that played lights out and a quarterback who was ready to make the mistake, but the mistake never came. Are y'all picking up what I'm putting down? When you go on in the next season as a Browns fan, you can have, I'm not saying this about Shedeur, but Ivar just made me think about it. You can have a game manager and an elite defense to win the Super Bowl. So when the Cleveland media says you have to have a top quarterback at all costs, that's not true. That's not true. It's not true. Remember, I'm always attacking the people who talk. I'm not attacking the players, really. I would say he is somewhere in the 8 to 15 range, but that part of this list is fluid. I agree. Brady got credit for wins. Vrabel got him on defense. I agree with that. Tom Brady came into a great defense. Sam is a good game manager, and it got him to the Super Bowl. That's it. That's it. Now, you understand the game more than the Cleveland media. You watch more good football than Cleveland media. You see that you can take a mid-tier quarterback, which is that 8 to 15 range, with an elite defense, and you can win the Super Bowl with a couple changes. What's holding the Browns back? What's holding the Browns back then? The Browns get better offensive line, get better wide receivers. What's holding the Browns back? What's holding the Browns back next year, y'all? What's holding them back? Not much of anything. They couldn't wait to announce Shedor's QBR, which is a bogus stat in my opinion, but haven't said a word about May's 16.8. They'll never bring it up. Last night, we saw game-managing QBs and not difference makers. Shedor is a difference maker. So if you add a couple pieces around Shedor, offensive line, wide receivers, where could we be in the next year? Remember, I came out and said the Browns will win more games than the Atlanta Falcons. Why do y'all think I said that? Do y'all see how important coaching is? Y'all see how important scheme is? You see how important making sound decisions, taking the points is? Hopefully y'all picking up what I'm putting down. We're not that far away. Anybody who says that the Cleveland Browns are very far away, they don't know what they're talking about. Let's keep it moving.
Yeah, I guess what's the plan
now?
Now?
This is the golden boy. During the draft time, and everybody said Shedeur didn't throw at the combine. Shedeur didn't throw at the combine. He didn't throw at the combine. Such a travesty, such an issue, and all this stuff. I said all we need is 1 year. I'll find the clip eventually, and I'll put it up for y'all. When I said all we need is 1 year, and everybody will see that combine stuff don't matter. The combine stuff don't matter. Junkins and Sampson need to be an actional tandem. Both can be featured to take the pressure off Shedeur. I agree with that. Shedeur Sanders better. Shedeur Sanders, I guess you meant better be the starter next year. Andrew Berry, work your Houdini magic. Get some receivers in here, please. You done it before. It's right there. The opportunity's there. You guys watch Brady's series. He talks about each team, their talent and personality. Each year the team has a new soul, spirit, personality. Winning teams find a way to win as a culture. I agree with that. Difference makers versus plug and play. We had plug and plays last night. It's okay, but difference makers win at any cost. D, who is the most improved QB of your choosing this season? Most improved. Give me a second to think about that. My whole point is the Browns are not that far away. And we broke it down. The people who evaluate the Browns and say they're going to be bad next year, they get it wrong. A la Sam Darnold. I showed y'all that. They called him a bust. They said you couldn't win with him. Teams fire people because they moved on from Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold is now a Super Bowl champion. You can win with a great defense. You can win with a great defense. So I got to think a little bit more about who I would say the most improved QB is. I had to think about that more somewhat. But the combine only mattered for Shedeur. I agree. Drake May, I feel bad for him a little bit last night. He didn't have much help by the offensive line. That's a good example of why having a good offensive line is important. I guess it's the wording. I don't know if I feel bad for Drake. I don't feel bad for Drake May. Let me say that. I'm not going to dance around it. I don't feel bad for Drake May. I just think that last night exposed more of how the playoffs will look for him. So I'm not going to dance around it. I don't feel bad. I still think Caleb Williams is one of the best. All it took, look at how they turned it around. Look at what it took. Browns will be tough to beat next year if they gel and you have to dump the Karens and losers that ruin culture. I agree with that. Marie, what is going on? What's going on?
Everybody stay on that side when they switched up. You switched up, stay on that side, man.
Emotion takes, not knowledge take. Yeah, that's why I said I can't say I feel bad for him. Trent Dilfer was a Super Bowl winning QB who was carried by a lights out defense. For real, on the Baltimore Ravens, one of the best defenses of all time. So, you can win it. So I just broke down in 3 different ways how the Browns are not that far away and how the people who are saying they're far away don't know what they're talking about. Let's get to it. All it took was 1 year. Mendoza, what are you doing when it comes to the combine?
Now, like, where are you going to work out? What are you going to do? You're the presumed #1 overall pick, obviously, how that goes. But
now you are, dude.
Yeah. Who are you going to work out with? What are you going to do at the combine? Have you thought anything about the whole throw-in, which you don't need to do anything at the combine, honestly. But have you thought about all of that going forward?
Yeah, so talking about it all with my agent and at the combine, you're throwing at different receivers, it's a whole different thing. And I want to make sure I give my guys the best chance. So I want to throw a pro day with my guys, with my running backs, and be there with the boys. The combine, I don't think throwing is going to be a priority just because it's such a quick turnaround. January 19th, I mean, yeah. I feel bad. Like, a lot of the guys on our team, like, luckily I'm in a better position that I don't got to throw on the combine. But a lot of our guys, we had Kalen Black playing the Senior Bowl.
Yeah.
Game 17, that's a true NFL season. And all the other guys, they're busting their butt training already. And, I've started training already down here in California. And it's just been a great process. And like everybody always says,
Wait a minute. Who are you?
I guess this is it only is a negative against Shedeur. Shedeur wanted to highlight his guys. He wanted to put all the attention on his receivers and everything like that. He said that early on. It sounded like Fernando Mendoza just read what Shedeur said and just put it in his own quirky words. And it's not going to matter at all. It's not going to matter at all that he doesn't go throw at the combine. I told people, all you got to do is wait till the next year. Everything that they said, it wasn't true. They just were lying about Shedeur. That's all it was. They didn't like Shedeur for whatever reason. I've been saying that. They just didn't like Shedeur. So, just look at it, man. Just look at it. They just didn't like Shedeur. He straight up stole Shedeur's answer. Stole his answer. Nobody's going to blink twice. The worst part is he not even going to give Shedeur credit for stealing his flow like that. He not even going to give Shedeur credit for ghostwriting that response for him. He not even going to give him credit. So I think last night during the Super Bowl, we was talking about Fernando Mendoza, and I was saying, to me, Fernando Mendoza doesn't seem authentic. Exhibit A right here. He doesn't seem authentic when you just steal somebody's stuff word for word, bar for bar. That's not authentic to me, y'all. So we're going to see how they respond to that. Let's keep it moving. I'm sorry, Mendoza. What's his best attribute? He doesn't have a strong arm. He's not super athletic, but he's accurate and good at process. Reminds me of somebody. I like that, Shadithia. Now we know his character. Nasty work. Did you see Coach Brown call out the podcaster? I did see that. Combine is about getting the borderline players some eyeballs for the draft. That's it. Telling on themselves the more time passes. That's it. To me, I got to tell y'all this, man. Do y'all remember when I was saying that they weren't having him read the defense? They got him reading two things on defense, y'all. They got Mendoza reading, is the safety here, is the safety there? They don't have him, they don't have Mendoza reading a lot. I don't think Mendoza was just there picking apart defenses like people want to say. Because every time he played a top defense, he did not look as good, and his numbers prove that. So I'm not putting him in the category I'm not putting him in the category of the person I think you're trying to put him in, Jeffrey. The top players can only hurt their draft stock at the combine. That was the same thing people were saying about Shedeur, but he doesn't have one special trait. Mendoza, you could say the same thing, but for some reason, Mendoza is the first overall pick. I don't look at them as the same. I don't look at them as the same. Mendoza's accuracy on a deep ball is not close to Shedeur. His mid-range accuracy is not close to Shedeur. If you look at I watched all his games. If you look, he's always throwing the ball. The receivers are open. They're twisting their body to the other side to catch it. I'm not putting them in the same. I'm not putting them. No. Feel free if you view them as the same. I don't view them as the same. Look at any pass he threw over 20 yards and watch what the receiver has to do to catch the ball. I'm not putting them in the same category. No way, no how. I'm not doing it. What's going to be the story when a report comes out about him not being able to read defenses? They're going to look past it. I'm telling y'all, he played in a very simple offense. Very simple offense. Y'all saw it in the national championship game. They predetermined his reads. Appreciate you too, man. Be safe out there. Y'all gonna see. Brady would have stand out at the compound, but his heart is what made him special. I agree with that. He was never gonna quit. Fraud Mendoza is giving Melania vibes. Straight up stole Shedeur whole concept. He may not be close to Shedeur, but he will be a first overall pick. Watch and see. I agree with that. He is. They already stamped it. All right, let's keep it moving.
I don't think so.
This is going to be, we spoke a little bit about this. This is Myles Garrett speaking about Shedeur.
Speaking of your team, right? 4 quarterbacks, the challenges.
I wasn't there, but I was just trying to make a point. One thing about one quarterback was saying different about the other quarterback when Shedeur Sanders obviously is better downfield thrower. Got you. Okay, I see what you're saying now. You're saying that they act like it wasn't a plus for Shedeur, but they're saying it's a plus for Mendoza. I agree with that. Okay, we're on the same page, Jeffrey. Mendoza going to do a slow move to the back. I don't see a locker room fit. I said he was quirky a long time ago. Once you start listening to him, you're like, yeah. They like Mendoza physical traits like Trevor Lawrence. He just doesn't have the blonde hair. They could care less about what he can physically do as a QB. For real. You see, they turned Trevor Lawrence into a running back in the red zone. Trevor Lawrence is running the ball. He is not throwing. There's always been a separate set of standards. They will always let one pass to hold down another. I feel that's what happened to Shedeur. They lifted up Ward to push Shedeur down. 12 is better. I agree with that too. This Myles Garrett on Shedeur, making it clear.
Do y'all have the guy? Is Shedeur the guy?
That's what we're looking at as a guy. We're going to give him a shot to prove that he's a guy. So we're not going to give anyone that title until they go out there and earn it. And he was the last person to be on the field, and he showed some flashes. So we're going to give him an opportunity to show what he can really do, uncork the ball.
Yeah, you paying another guy $46 billion. Is he going to get a shot?
I'll play that Myles Garrett part back. Quirky, like geeky, nerdy. That's what I mean. Like just kind of nerdy. Like you said, questionable locker room fit. Trevor Lawrence has a big arm, though. Mendoza doesn't have that. Trevor Lawrence does have a big arm, but if you look at him in the red zone this year, he wasn't using his arm. He was running touchdowns. You ever meet someone that you can tell they're hiding something, just fronting for appearances? That's Mendoza. And they told him stick to the script because it I don't know. It just don't add up to me. And then the little Uzi Vert thing, I don't know. It just don't add up to me. But yeah, quirky meaning like nerdy, I guess would have been a better way to put it. But questionable locker room fit. Questionable people with mortgages and bills and a family trying to get their next paycheck. I don't know how much they're going to run through a wall for him. It's probably a better way to Explain it, CA. Let me rewind this back slightly. He's going to ask about Shedeur, and I want y'all to hear it.
Where's this coming from?
No, we're going to give him a shot to prove that he's the guy. So we're not going to give anyone that title until they go out there and earn it. And he was the last person to be on the field, and he showed some flashes. So we're going to give him an opportunity to show what we can really do, uncork the ball.
Yeah, you paying another guy $46 million. Is he going to get a shot?
I feel like everyone on the roster is going to get a shot. Now, he was the last guy on the field, so he's obviously going to get first service. And, Deshaun, whoever else on the roster, they're going to get a real look.
What do you think?
Deshaun or whoever else is on the roster. Man, Dylan might really be going to ATL. What happened to all these quarterbacks that were supposed to be in this draft as well? Now everybody's saying there's just one. Remember early on, I was saying it's not gonna be no. It's gonna be two, and one of them went back to school. Are you going to address defense today? The Browns defense, or explain more? Explain more. Yeah, he didn't say nothing about DG. He said whoever else on the roster. The others are always lifted up or on top. One thing I know for sure is God has for you is for you. The doors that he opens, no man can close. Bigger test, greater testimony. I like that. Question for me. Why is his brother transferring? Your brother just won the championship. Everybody loves Mendoza. Why are you leaving a day after the win? Because the coach told you that it's probably not going to be this is not going to be your team. Like Emmitt Smith said, the locker room knows who's the guy in Cleveland. Just like Todd Monken said. Todd Monken said, we know who we want them. We want somebody who they're going to be playing behind. I get what G. Bush was saying now. This is the politically correct way of saying Shedor's the guy without saying it outright. Has to look like this publicly for optics. I don't know. To me, it just seems clear that they're saying it's Shedeur. I don't think they're. Just look at the way he says it. He didn't even name Dylan. Watson showed he was working out on his IG page today. He must have said people dogging him for being in Italy looking like Frank Lucas. Mainstream media is misdirection. News stands for north, east, west, south. Look everywhere but inside. I like that, Lex. I like that. Dylan Gabriel, I think he's going to get cut or traded to the Falcons. The Snoop Huntley is most likely coming to be the backup. I wouldn't be surprised by that. The QB from Arizona State is going to Indiana. So that means his brother wasn't that good. The Browns, C. Brown Run asked about the Browns defense. The Browns defense, I don't think they announced a coordinator hire. But to me, I think that if you get somebody who's going to run a similar scheme, as long as on early downs they can get people to 3rd and long, I think the scheme will work well. The issue is on 1st and 2nd down, giving up 5-yard runs. The scheme that the Browns run puts a lot of pressure on the linebackers to make plays. The linebackers have to make plays based on the scheme the Browns run. So if the line can get to the 2nd level and block linebackers, they're going to be able to run the ball on you. But if the D-line can hold up, then the linebackers will come downhill, make tackles, and look good. It seems like the linebackers coach is going to get a promotion and be the DC. I would be cool with that. I'm not the person who looks at Jim Schwartz like he can't be replaced. I'm not that person. Can they be as good as Seattle if they can put up points? Seattle got a lot better on defense because they were leading. So the Browns' strategy should be put up points, get the lead, and just wreak havoc. The offense determined if the Browns' defense could look that way. The Browns' defense was playing from behind or in close games. But when you know a team has to pass to score and they need scores quickly, they can be that good. They can be that good if they have a lead. So it's up to the offense. Why y'all acting like y'all can't see Mendoza is a weirdo? Our Jizzle gonna shoot it straight. They just got the QB from TCU to be the starter. He wasn't going to get an opportunity there. Probably a favor to Mendoza when he came. It could be. I'm sure we all have stories of how we went through something, moved something that was moved and tried to understand at times only to realize it was God's plan to protect, that strengthen us. I like that. Frank Lucas. Oh my goodness. I don't know what that's about. Dylan will not be on the team next season. We gonna see. This is Myles kind of dunking on Michael Parsons. Let me get to that, and then we're gonna get to Shedeur. We gonna get to the Shedeur interview. We're gonna hit 2 points in the Shedeur interview. Now let's go straight to that. Let's go straight to Shedeur. Straight to the Shedeur interview.
Yeah, it's kind of like just recapping.
More media trained.
One thing I would say about Shedeur looks at peace, look like he's having a great time with Shiloh. This is the mood I want to see him in the offseason before he goes and lock back in. So I'm happy for him and happy that he's able to just lift the weight off and be okay. Everyone is replaceable, especially if you have a good system in place. Coach Monken told the Cleveland media that already. He did. I didn't come here for Jim Schwartz. It's 2 points we're going to highlight in this interview. One of them is this media train thing. Let's go back slightly. Let's go about here. I like Micah Parsons. He has a big personality. Y'all notice how the players trying to do what Wolof does for Shedeur. Says Coach Prime. Now Jamar Chase is doing it. Coach Prime has always been a trendsetter. Shout out to Bucky. What does that say about Mendoza that you can only let your brother be your backup? He left Cal because they were recruiting his replacement. We got to change it up, D. It's getting sticky. Let's get to the media train question. People, I read some of the comments on this video. People they didn't like the media train thing, and they didn't like the Colt thing. Those are the 2 points we're going to hit here.
After this was all, the whole season's over for you going into next year. Like, is it a relief thing? I got the first year out of the way.
Yeah, it's kind of like just recap.
Jefferson is not happy with the Vikings right now. Would you be interested in bringing him in to be wide receiver 1? Y'all not going to like me for this. But a very expensive wide receiver will not help the Browns this year. You will probably have to give up 2 1s for him. That won't help the Browns. What I want the Browns to do is get the best talent at the best price. The best price is drafting them in the first round and getting them for the slotted price, not getting them at the highest price. Jefferson is at the highest price, and he will probably cost you 2 number 1 picks. So when I want Jefferson as a player and talent, yes. The price tag to get Jefferson, would I be willing to give that up? No. I haven't watched his interview with Cam yet, but didn't Bucky say the NFL teams wanted to work with him? They want that secret sauce. The problem, I'll tell you the problem with that is. The problem is Bucky's eye. Bucky always knows where the play is going. You can't train that. Let's get to Shedeur.
More media trained.
I think that's kind of like what. I mean, I'm the same person. I just can understand a different perspective. So I don't like when you could take one side of me and allow for that side to kind of like push the narrative.
Yeah.
Off of a 3-second clip or off text or off people word of mouth of off just a bunch of different things. So it's like I'm more conscious now of how things could come off to people that don't know me.
Yeah.
Because if you know me and you're around me, like, you will understand what's real and what's not true in the media and everything like that. But I just leave no room for error. I think that's kind of like what it is, and I had to like understand, like, I mean, everything's in your control that you're able to control. So like, you choose what words are put out, and however they take it is however they're going to take it.
I could tell you learned over the course of the season. You would even respond to certain reporters like, I know what you're trying to do. Because in the beginning, it seemed like the media wanted to turn everybody against each other and kind of create this drama that wasn't even really happening. And you
Let me pause it here real quick. So I saw people in the comments having an issue with this, and they're like, oh, Shedeur has to not be himself and all this stuff. I didn't take that from what he said. From what Shedeur said there, I took communicate clearly so people don't have to build in or fill the gaps with what they think you meant. So have y'all ever seen this? It'll be somebody that'll say something very clear online or in person. And a person will say, so what you're saying is, no, I'm saying exactly what I said. That's one of the things I can't stand when people say that. Go based off what I said. Don't try to summarize what I said. Go based on what I said. Earlier, I said, I don't feel sorry for Drake May. So somebody else would say, oh, so you don't. No, just go based on what I said. I said, I don't feel sorry for Drake May. Don't change it. Don't twist it. Don't add to it. Don't take away from it. What Shedeur said was, leave no room for interpretation. That is maturity. That is maturity right there. That's a big thing right there. I took that as growth. The older you get, especially, and the more you talk, you want it to be clear where you stand. Everything that happens in Cleveland is based on people filling the gaps. Shout out to you, Latika. Enjoy the rest of your day, and don't forget to send me that DM. I think this is growth and maturity. This is not leaving people room to twist or interpret what you say. They have to go based on exactly what you say. That is tremendous growth from Shedeur. So I saw people saying that in the comments, and they're like, "Oh, he can't be himself." And I'm like, "Nah, that's him evolving. That is him evolving." Yes, exactly, D. I hate when people try to summarize what I said. I have to say so many times, I said what I meant and how I said it. I had to say that to people too. Like, I think I speak clearly. And sometimes I realize I'm speaking to someone where I gotta speak even more direct. Even more direct. Honestly, he can't be himself. They will pick apart no matter what he says. Shedeur is a very thoughtful communicator. Yeah, I just don't agree with that. I think he is being who he is. If you look at an interview from Shedeur pre-draft when he was in Colorado and you look at him in Cleveland, I don't think they're different. What he is saying is, I just have to explain it more clearly. That's not taking away from who he is. That's not him changing his answer. That's instead of him probably saying something short, that's him explaining it fully. That's him giving more of who he is, not less of who he is, not less. So I don't take that as him not being himself. Him not being himself would be a person who, like Shedeur, who is thoughtful and thinks about what he says. He stops thinking about what he says. He gives one-word answers. That would be him not being himself. Him saying, I can't leave room for error or margin or for you to twist my words, I think that's him being more of himself. That's him more confident, and he knows what message he wants to get across. So I don't see that as him. I don't see that way. Don't add to it. Don't take away from it. It is a Bible verse, D. I like it. Just leave it at what it is. Leave it at what it is. And I think that's growth from Shedeur. This phone just autocorrect what doesn't need to be corrected and puts it on words. What the AI is happening. The AI is everywhere, and they make their presence felt too. They make their presence felt. We're gonna get to the coat. We're gonna get to the coat part. We're gonna get to the coat part. The guy knows what a coat is. He is just trying to gaslight. I saw a lot of people who had negative views on Steiny, who was interviewing Shedeur. They have a relationship behind the scenes. They've been around each other. I'm just going to be honest with y'all. It's not many ways I can put this. I think Steiny's limited life experience, he is just rolling with stuff he's heard. I don't think he really knows what it means. And the reason why I'll tell you that is he just was saying, think about what he just said about the more media trained statement. He just using words that he's heard other people in the media say. Be safe out there, C.A. Anderson. Hopefully you have a great day. We got to play it for you too. I think he's just playing and using words that he's heard other people say. He couldn't define cope. He couldn't define it. If Shedeur pushed back and said define media train, he wouldn't be able to define it. So I think this person just that's no knock to him, but this is a young guy, and this is a young guy who I just think doesn't have the life experience to articulate himself better. People are always trying to tell Shedeur how to feel or do something when they would have handled last season in a much worse way than he did. You know, I always say that. Our Jizzle, I always say that. I always say I would. I always say that he handled it way better than me. Way better than me. Way better than me. Way better than me. Because I would have not handled it well. But let's listen to some more.
You can't tell as a fan.
Yeah, but you gotta understand, like, everybody has a job, bro. Like, it's like social media, so it's about insights, it's about clicks, it's about like a lot of different things. And
it's a media trained answer. So yeah,
no, it really is. Like, it really is. So it's like, can you even be mad that that's what they want to do? You can't be mad because that is their job description. Yeah. Now, if right and wrong is for them to judge within themselves, you know, and that's between like them and God, you know. So they could feel like, anybody could feel like they're right in their eyes, and you're able to justify pretty much almost anything. So it's more about not even not letting anybody be able to dictate or to be able to take things the wrong way.
So
even there, he threw in the media trained again, and if you know anything about somebody talking to the media, they would never get a response Shedeur gave right there. That's why I said he's saying things without the understanding. They're saying things without the he's saying stuff without the understanding. And I don't know if y'all noticed this, but in today's society, people use words and they have changed the definition of what the word is, and they use it in their way. And because that was not a media trained answer at all. He basically said Shedeur, they got to take it up with God if they do right or wrong, but they are doing their job and they're choosing how they do their job. No person who is like the media trained would explain that in that way. So I know people don't want to hear this, but this is what people do. They change the definition of words to fit what they believe it means. So I know people were going to Steiny, but I don't look at it that way. Shedeur, there you go. A.M. Williams, what's going on? Shedeur is very wise and trying to educate him. He's trying to put him up on game. That's what he's doing. A media trained answer looks like he needs media training and go find out what a code is. Yeah. Sound like he was saying Shedeur wasn't being truthful, just giving media trained answers. And that's why I said he doesn't know what media trained. That's why I said he doesn't know what media trained means. Because Shedeur's answers they would not tell him the person got to take it up with God or in themselves if they are doing something that's right or wrong. Being media trained, they would not tell you to go that far into that. So he doesn't even know what he's saying. And I'm not saying that as a diss to him. I'm not saying that as a diss to him. He just saying words. He don't know what he's talking about. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, D. Shedeur and Steiny have a good relationship, but that's why Shedeur was able to be open and honest with him. I agree with that. Now it's been reported that Drake May's shoulder was hurt, and that's why he played bad. I knew that would be the excuses. He said he got a shot so he couldn't feel his shoulder. Whatever they got to say to make themselves feel better. Steiny was clearly trying to get a gotcha viral moment from Shedeur, even if they are friends. It's all about clicks and views with everybody. Hey, you got the right to feel that way. I don't feel that way. I don't feel he's trying to get a gotcha. I'm gonna tell you why. Because I don't think he know what he's saying. It's not really a nice way to say he don't know what he's talking about, but that's what it is. He don't know what he's talking about. Like, that's just what it is. I'm trying to find the nicest way to say it, but he just don't know what he's talking about. That's all. He's a young man and he's just repeating words that other people say. He don't know what he's talking about. That's what it is. He don't know what he's talking about. This will be my question. Would you say anything he said in this video was in the same vein of what Kay Adams did? The Kay Adams interview with Shedeur. What she did in this interview, would you say either one, or did she do anything that's similar to what Kay Adams did? Because I think Kay Adams used a media tactic that hundreds of media people have used previously. I'm telling you, you got to talk to more young people. Y'all have to talk to more young people. Y'all have to. Tessa, what's going on? Y'all got to talk to more young people.
Well.
Y'all have to.
Well.
You got to talk to more young people and see where their mind is at. Y'all have to. They are saying stuff. D, they could be good friends and you can still not know what you're talking about. Shanithia, you just summarized what I'm trying to say. I was trying to say it in the nicest way, but he don't know what he's talking about. He just repeating stuff he heard other people say. That's what he's doing. That's what he's doing. That's what young people do. Like, if you're not around young people, y'all might think that everything is intentional or they have an understanding. Kay Adams used a clear media tactic that's been used time and time again in the media when covering sports. These are not media tactics that he's using. This is somebody who heard words and he's using those words. And he's saying them. He couldn't even explain what a coat was. They had to look it up. All you got to sometimes just watch what the people doing. just watch what he's doing. Even the answers that he said were media. He said, "Oh, are you more media trained?" Then the answer that he said was a media trained answer was not media trained at all. That's a clear indicator he don't know what he's talking about. Like, I'm just trying to say it in a nice way possible. He don't know what he's talking about. Hopefully y'all hear it. He don't know what he's talking about. He don't know. Crowd Woman Collective, we would just have to disagree on that one. We just have to disagree on that one. Jameis wouldn't be backbited. I like Winston. He's funny, cool, protective, and God-fearing. Sign him up. Oh my goodness, Drake May hurt shoulder. He said prior to the game his shoulder was fine. The warm weather helped it feel better. Yeah, they're going to make excuses for him. I'm going to start asking people to define what words they're using because they're clearly using multiple definitions. Zedric, everybody sees it. Everybody sees it. If you just look online. When y'all go back and forth with people in the comments or y'all see people go back and forth, YouTube, X, IG, TikTok, people use words in the wrong context all the time. All the time. All the time. And I'm telling you, he don't know what he's talking about. He don't know what he's talking about. Sounds like he was trying to interview a friend. Yeah, he's trying to sound smart, trying to sound like he know what he's talking about. I don't think this is anywhere close to what Kay Adams was doing. Anywhere close. Nowhere close. Nowhere close. And it's gonna be highlighted. Let's go to the quote comment. I got the timestamp right here. I didn't say he was stupid. I said he doesn't know what media trained is. I didn't say he was stupid. He makes money. He has a big following. I'm not saying he's stupid. Hear me what I'm saying. He doesn't know what a media trained answer is. He doesn't know what a media trained answer is. He said you have a cult. I never seen anything like it. People running across the street. You have a cult-like following. He couldn't define cults. I'm not calling him stupid. I'm saying he is speaking and using words out of context. It's very clear. Very clear. So when I say he don't know what he's talking about, that's what I mean. Using the words out of context. Let's play the cult portion. It's going to come up right after this.
Myself as a person, I learned how to learn from a lot of situations, learn how to not be perceived the wrong way by your personality at times, you know, and give full context on things and not really make as many errors, you know, when it comes to like off the field, on the field, like stuff like that. I think that's where I learned the most. I think I learned the most mentally, honestly.
Yeah.
And spiritually.
One thing that I noticed about, because when your bro was out in LA, the Sanders family has one of the most loyal, like, cult audiences I've ever seen in my life.
What does a cult mean?
They're just diehard fans, bro. Like, when
I want to know
what does a cult mean? They're just diehard fans, bro. When I say he doesn't know what it means, he doesn't know what it means. Cry Woman Collective, that means you would be able to give an explanation of what it is. He can't. Shedeur just pushed back on him. What does a cult mean? Just diehard fans, bro. Let me see if it's still here. That sounds like fans. Let me see. I'm from Texas, so when I think of cult, I think of Waco, David, Carice, also Jim Jones. Being called a cult is derogatory no matter how you slice it. They have Shedeur part of the definition. He may not even know about Jim Jones. I agree with that. Cult definition. Let's just say celebrity-like following full of people who respect the values and integrity of the family, understand the game better than a lot of media and even some parents. Talk to him. I'm on the treadmill and it's hard retyping, especially with them changing your words up on the autocorrect. Princess Premier, what is going on? What is going on? I hope y'all hear clearly what I'm saying. What I'm saying is he's using terms out of context that he can't describe. He can't define. I guess because I'm a seasoned woman, so that's why I know. That's why I said look at you gotta be around young people. I'm telling y'all, majority of my audience is 40 plus years old. Majority is 40 plus years old. When is the last time people in my audience have had a conversation with someone who was in their 20s who was not in your family? Like a conversation. When is the last time y'all have had a conversation with someone who is not in your family who was in their 20s? Because y'all gonna see the difference. D, he is a silver spoon raised guy who now has a big following and is trying to interview a friend with no interview experience. I think it's simple. That's why I was pushing back on. I don't think he was using tactics and all this stuff because I don't think he knows enough or has enough experience in that field to do the things that people are accusing him of. But just go back to it. When is the last time? It could be somebody you work with. It could be somebody you interviewed. It could be somebody you encounter out in the public. When is the last time you had a conversation with when is the last time you had a conversation with somebody in your 20s? Y'all will realize it's like you speaking a different language. and that's the easiest way for me to put it. You can't use cult and fans interchangeably, two different things. I agree. I agree. She was on some Karen Ish talking about she felt attacked because Shedeur had cameras rolling. Yes, that's what I'm saying. Like, when I think she had a different intent. I don't think he even had bad intent. I think he was just speaking out of context on the two biggest points of this. He simply should have said diehard fans then. I agree with that. 92.3 The Fan spoke on this very clip. Couldn't believe Lima admitted he was wrong calling Shedeur supporters a cult. He will be bashing Shedeur again when the wind blows. Yeah, I don't even listen to those guys because if y'all notice, y'all been watching me. If a person is in their 20s, do y'all hear me give them grace? But people who are 40 plus with kids, I give them less grace. But people in their 20s, I'm telling you, the way they use words, they change definitions, they summarize things, can't fully repeat what you said. It's different. It's different. I don't conversate with no 20-year-olds. Sorry. I'm telling you, it's different. It's not, you're not having two conversations. Like, remember, you speaking to somebody in their 20s that probably can't sign something. They can't write in cursive. Like, that's how different, that's how big the gap is in a different world they're in. It's just Maya. You see it. I work with college-age kids, and I'm always asking clarifying questions. I could be exhausting sometimes. Yes, because they don't speak clearly. You will ask them, a lot. Last one had me confused. For real. Shanithia knows it. No cap. That's why I'm saying, remember, when we look at people, if we are breaking down a person who is 40 plus, I'm going to break them down totally different than I break down a person in their 20s. People in their 20s, and conversationally, it's not the same. It is not the same. Marie said it's hard not to for her, church members, and folks she worked with. Text worth talk. I agree. I spoke with a young intern at work last week and ended up giving her career advice. Ivar, you see what I'm saying? I'm telling you, the conversations, you like, oh my goodness. So that's it took a while, but we finally got here where y'all see what I'm saying. How old is Stymie? My first time hearing about it. Let me tell you his exact age. Let me not make it up. But if I had to guess, I would say he's early 20s. Early to mid 20s would be my guess, based on his conversation style. I called him Stymie. His name is Stymie. My bad. I don't know. This is. I don't know. They talking about his stuff not. His birth date is not published. That's different. All right, this is something different. I don't know. For some reason, he don't even want to show his age. So they're saying he's potentially in his late 20s. They're saying he's in his late 20s. So last year they said he was 29, but he wasn't really showing it. There you go. My issue is I'm illiterate, so I can't read and spell. That's why I use text to speech, and sometimes I put stuff that way. It's all good, Jeffrey. It's all good. Co-follow is used as a slur most of the times. I agree with that. I'm in my 30s, and it's a night and day gap with young 20-year-olds. I have family members in 20s that I can't see eye to eye with, so I guess. Who is he? He's a YouTuber. He is a YouTuber and streamer. That is true. I was shocked. They do not teach cursive writing anymore. They can't sign a signature. Detroit Gemini said he's 30. Shador is smart enough to know that Colt is disrespectful to his supporters, so maybe Steiny is ignorant, but now he knows RC is an issue with the rabid and delusional he called Shedeur Sanders fans. Remember, when RC said that, I wasn't giving RC grace. I look at people who are older and younger differently. Did you see the Parsons interview with Myles? Yeah, we showed one clip from that Apprentice premiere. Life experience means something. I agree. Call his fans a cult or referring to them as rabbit is disrespectful. I agree. I was glad Shador spoke up. We are not a cult. We are supporters of the family, period. I like that. Shiloh is 1 year older than Shador. That's because these young kids smoke a lot of weed. It could be. Who is his father? I don't know who his father is. I get it. You want to bring people along with you, but dang. So let's get to the rest of this. Let me start it over so we can hear Shador's response to the coat thing straight through.
Like off the field, on the field, like stuff like that. I think that's where I learned the most. I think I learned the most mentally, honestly.
Yeah.
And spiritually.
One thing that I noticed about, because when your bro was out in LA, the Sanders family has one of the most loyal, like, cult audiences I've ever seen in my life.
What is a cult?
He could have said loyal followings. He could have said loyal. He could have said loyal fans. Any of those things. When he searched for a word and he said the cult, I'm happy Shador stopped him. I'm happy he stopped him. Got two 20-somethings in my house. They can't function without phones. Totally changed vocabulary. They use words that we've been using for 50 years and swear that they mean something that they do not. They should seize it. Like, I'm telling you, I'm not making it up when I'm saying, hey, it's like you speaking to different, it's a different language. Yes, don't call the fans rabbit. I agree. During the interview, Shador referenced Steiny father. I guess he's attorney. All right, let's play this full interaction around the coat.
Cult meme.
They're just diehard fans, bro. Like when
I want to know what is a real definition of a cult.
I think when it comes to cult, it's like everybody worships the same thing, maybe. But I'm telling you, when I would go to diners, like people would run across the street if they saw your brother and freak out. It was like something.
So he is describing people who are fans of them. He is describing people that are fans of them. So he said, I think it's a worship thing, and then he's describing fan interactions. Wait, didn't he just establish that he meant diehard fans when discussing Colts? That looks funny in the light. Loyal and Colt aren't even the same thing. Now do y'all see what I said when he's using these words out of context? He's using this stuff out of context, y'all. It took us a long time coming, a long time to get here, but we here. Let's play it.
Something I've never seen. So I thought that was pretty cool. And outside of all the noise.
What does it say the definition of a cult is?
Person or.
So then he's saying he thought it was pretty cool. So it's somebody that worships something, according to him. Then he talked about how people run wherever they are to go say what's up and see him. Then he's saying he thought it was pretty cool. So do you remember earlier when I said he's using words out of context? He don't know what he's talking about? We just watched it in real time. That's why I appreciate Shador for pushing back so hard, saying, no, give me the definition. Before I say this is okay, give me the definition.
Thing that is popular or fashionable among a particular group or section of society.
So everybody has cults.
It's a relatively small group.
Yeah.
So that's the fan.
Yeah, but you guys have a big group.
I know, but when I just don't like the word cult, because whenever you use the word cult in like that context, it's viewed differently than actually what it is. You know?
Yeah.
Like if you explain the full definition of cult, which you did, then that means pretty much a lot of people have cults.
Oh, so you're saying it's not that unique?
I don't like the word cult.
Okay. I'll
You
say
get what I'm
okay,
saying?
okay, so then I'll replace it with loyal.
No, but I'm saying a lot of people say cult, and it's like, what does cult mean? But if you say it's a small group of people that believe in something, then that means if you have fans, you have cult.
Yeah, no, you just have a loyal fan base. I'll say that.
That
makes more sense.
That makes more sense.
Yeah.
So he just talked him through it. He talked him through it. he walked him step by step through it. Where they get that definition? Probably ChatGPT or Google or X. I'm telling you, people when they don't even know where to look for definitions. They couldn't tell you. Everybody know Webster's dictionary. They're not going to Webster's. They just Google what is a cult. That's what they doing. That he don't know. Y'all see it. That's why I like the fact that Shedor's like, no, define it for me before I say it's okay. And Shedeur still said, I don't like it, which I like that. Steiny repeating what he read on X like Mary Kay does, for real. And shout out to Shedeur. No interviewing skills with his own friend. None. That's offensive. If you said worship, if you love the Lord, that would make them a false idol. Yes, the whole cult thing is wrong with supporters. I agree with that. He's trying to slide past his previous definition. He is. He's trying to swing that thing in a positive, and Shedeur walked him through it, and he said, I should have used loyal fan base. Walked him through it. No, Shedeur was calm. I'm telling y'all, like, the way Shedeur handles stuff, I'm telling you, at his age, doesn't it seem like Shedeur is the older one in this room? It seems like Shedeur is the oldest one out of these two. Shedeur is schooling him, and I watched the whole thing, and a couple different times, Shedeur is schooling him on stuff. He is schooling him. So that's why I was pushing back like, nah, this not a dude. He don't know no better to have malicious intent because he don't even know what he's talking about. So he is poor little Tink Tink. Shedeur getting them together. He getting them together. Yeah, he did walk him through it. Shedeur's been waiting for that moment to educate people. Shedeur's the one giving game here. I see why sports reporters was upset. Remember, they said Shedeur make them feel small. That's why they call him grown. He make them feel small because you got to explain it. Explain what you're saying to me.
Yeah,
but that's what I'm saying. You, a lot of people like. I didn't ask for that. Like that wasn't in my control. It wasn't like I was like, hey, everybody, please be my fan. Like things happen. Like you able to see like our side and like how we are as a family, how we are as people. Like you able to see that. So if they able to see that and they like what they see, then they become fans. Like if I see your podcast and I watch what you're doing, I become a fan.
Yeah.
So it's like the more people that like what you do, they're gonna be fans. So it's kind of.
And it's funny too. Going off of that, when we were earlier talking about how
because a lot of people take that thing as a negative thing,
right?
And it's like
what I'm talking about.
I didn't really.
No, but what I'm saying too,
inquire about that.
When I before I went to the Browns game, I came to Cleveland and the Browns. Was it the Chiefs? I believe it was the Chiefs. You played the Chiefs at home, right? The Niners. Sorry.
He trying to make his way through it. Shout out to Shedeur. Shedeur handling these moments in real time with way more tact than a lot of people would. Like he walked them through it, didn't take offense to it, explained it to him, showed him that it was viewed negatively, and when it's used in a negative connotation. He walked him through it. Got him up to speed. Now we're gonna change the subject. So for me, instead of me shining the light on Steiny and going at him, I choose to shine the light on how Shedeur handled the situation. To me, Shedeur is handling these situations so well. And that's why I keep saying it. I've been saying it all year. You're always going to hear me say it. He is handling all this so well. He is handling it so well. Nobody can say to me that will lead me to believe I would have handled it this well at his age. So shout out to Shedeur. Shout out to how he walked him through it. Shout out to how he got him together. And y'all see it. Coach Prime calls him grown for a reason. He is. His patience with going through stuff. I'm looked at as a patient person now, but it took me time to get here. He already got this in his 20s. Imagine what his patience level is going to be at 35. Imagine what his understanding is going to be at 35. So that I choose to highlight the Shedeur side of it versus the other side. Shedeur detractors hate more than anything is people relate to him enough to show him love. They hate this young, rich black man has all this love and support, which they think is influence as power. They know it's influence and power. I hate when the media use the word. Me too. He should have tried to pivot to the next topic. He should have got up out of there quick. He couldn't. Coach Prime calls him grown for a reason. I agree with that. Running across the street to see someone is nothing. Following them down the street all the way to the airport from their flight home might be a cult. Maybe something different. But then, y'all know, look at how people used to pass out when they saw Michael Jackson in concert. I saw Michael Jackson in concert when I was real young. I remember people passing out. Like, so just they got to use words correctly and stop just throwing words on people, throwing labels on people, trying to box people in. They got to stop doing that. Use of the word cult by the media is intentional to place a negative connotation on the fans, discredit Shedeur as a player and a person, and give the haters something religious to band behind. I agree with that. Black Pearl, Polo Tink Tink, can't get right. Shedeur is very mature beyond his age. I agree with that. Bless his heart, for real. Selma Floyd, I did see something about that. It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate the reports that are coming out about James Pierce. It's unfortunate. He put everything ahead of him at risk, and just the initial reports of saying what he did, you just can't do that. You just can't do that. You can't do that. Shedeur said, "You will not let my supporters feel away." I agree with that. It's just Maya, aka grown. That young man is not stupid. He knew what it meant when he said the word "coat." We're just gonna agree to disagree because I just showed y'all how he didn't know. He's using words out of context. He was using words earlier out of context. I'm telling y'all. It'll just be what it is. It'll just be what it is. People got to watch videos of Johnny Manziel and Baker Mayfield when they were here in Cleveland, then watch videos of Shedeur Sanders. You can see a big difference in maturity. I agree. Even when he talks to these old school reporters, Shedeur is more mature. I agree with that. Shedeur grew up in Texas. He knows what a coat is no matter what they try to spin it to. I agree with that. C. Anderson, grown. I see why sports reporters are upset. Remember they said Shedeur make them feel small. Yeah. If you can't explain what you're talking about, you're going to feel small. Shedeur is sensitive to the word coat. Yeah, that's something else. I ain't going to get into that. Yeah, he did walk him through it. Shedeur has been waiting for a moment to educate people. All right, so we caught up. Him don't know no better. See what I'm saying? Him don't know no better. I have a question. Why do people try to compare Johnny Manziel, Baker Mayfield when they were here in Cleveland to Shedeur Sanders? You can see the big difference in maturity. It's because people who lack understanding, people who lack understanding try to compare things. So if they don't understand Shedeur, they just say a lot of people support Shedeur. He's like Baker Mayfield. A lot of people support Shedeur and he's a celebrity. He's like Johnny Manziel. So they compare it. Just listen to any of them speak. They're not the same. They're not in the same group at all. So it's people who lack understanding. They try to use comparison. You can't be lazy with words. I agree with that. Shedeur has to always be the grown person in the room. It has to be exhausting. You know what? It seems natural where he don't even think about it. You so nice, D. Yeah, it gets to a point. I'm just like, hey, he'll know what you're talking about. I appreciate this conversation because it underscores the authenticity of what happens in this podcast. It's taking it to a different level and really breaking it down. It's y'all know I'm gonna just tell y'all what I feel about a situation. If I feel a person has bad intentions, I'll tell y'all. If I feel the person don't know what they're talking about, I'll tell y'all. I just tell y'all what it is. That's what we do here. This eliminate the gray. I'm not gonna dance in the middle on how I feel about a situation. Colt is a big word for Elmo. Zedric. Colt is a big word for Elmo. He's going to be a beast as he gets older. I agree with that. The actual quote is the haters that search out every Shedeur or Sanders to write a negative comment. I call it hate glazing stalkers. Shedeur derangement syndrome. I used to say that on TikTok, and hopefully YouTube don't get me for it. But I said that on TikTok, and they said I can't say that. They said I can't say that. Yeah, these are the good conversations that could be had right now. Instead of just writing off the Browns next season. Other people write off the Browns next season. We having conversations in the moment of what's happening right now. Of what is happening right now. 2.5 hours in. This was a good stream, y'all. A good stream. My voice got better as I was going because I started this thing off Barry White and my voice was ashy. But we made it through another stream. I think my next tea, I'm going to put some honey and some lemon with it to get my stuff full all the way back. Does Shedeur not have an agent still? I don't know if I ever really believed the reports he didn't have an agent. I believe they might have attorneys and people just want to call it not an agent. So my focus will be this. The media, no. Let me start over. My focus will be this. The media now knows he doesn't like the word. Who will use it in the future to piss him off? 92.3 The Fan. UCSS. National media. That's who. Shedeur is far more mature and has a much bigger following supporters than Baker and Manziel. That is one of the things Cleveland media hates. I agree. If Shedeur is like this now, I can only imagine how he'll be when he's 30. I agree. He's going to be, his understanding is going to be on a different level. Totally different level. We made it through another great stream. If you weren't here for the full time, definitely watch the beginning portion of the screen. We talked about the off the record NFL challenge. We crowned the winner and the champion. So you definitely want to check out that beginning portion of the stream. Shout out to C.A. Anderson winning the first off the record NFL playoff challenge. Shout out to, let me go to this screen. Let me put this up. Shout out to Latika. C.A. Anderson was the champion. Latika was the winner. Latika's already off at work in the meeting. C.A. Anderson, don't forget to DM me those sizes and let me know where you want your prize sent. But shout out to C.A. Anderson. Shout out to Harris Room Sports. And shout out to Charmaine for supporting the stream. I appreciate y'all. I appreciate these conversations. Another great stream. I'm going to work to make sure my voice is good for Wednesday's stream. Also, Patreon. If you're on Patreon, I'm going to let my voice chill today. But Thursday, I'm going to release a video going over Deshaun Watson's last game because the Cleveland media wants to put Deshaun Watson ahead of Shedeur. So we're going to get to the film. Thursday, we're going to look at Deshaun Watson's last game, and we're going to see if he's shown more flashes than Shedeur. We're not just going to leave it up to the media to write the story. We're going to do the work on the back end. Shout out to everybody that's on Patreon. Shout out to everybody who tapped into the stream, tapped into the replay. Shout out to Zedric. Zedric did his fast. I forgot it's February now. Shout out to Marie with the good memory. Zedric's fast went well, lost 10 pounds, so I'm feeling good. Shout out to you. Zedric. Shout out to you. Spiritually, mentally, in a great place, so I'm blessed. Shout out to you, Zedric. Shout out to you. The fast you did is a tough fast. It's a tough fast. I've seen people and heard of people doing it for 7 days. But you did that thing for a whole month. So shout out to you, man. Shout out to you. whenever you need to get that reset in. So shout out to you. Shout out to Marie for remembering it, and then shout out to you for going through it. Shout out to you. Shout out to you. Make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe. Follow Offtharecorddee on all platforms. We're going to be back at this thing on Wednesday. I appreciate each and every one of you. Y'all made this season so good. Y'all made this so good. And this was I was reading your message, Keith. My bad. Y'all made just such a special season. This is our first season, full NFL season in the books. It wouldn't be this enjoyable without y'all. So shout out to each and every one of y'all. Clap it up for yourselves. I appreciate you. Keith Hunt, I'm not sure why I did that. I'm not sure why I did that. Yeah, I'm not sure why I did that. Was it on YouTube or was it on like Patreon or something like that? I'm sorry, not Patreon. I'm sorry. Was it on PayPal or Cash App? But I'm not sure why I would do that. I'm not sure why I would ask for a password. Does anybody know if you try to send like a super chat, it'll ask you for a password? Does anybody know about that? Because I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Clyde Marshall, what's going on? Yeah, I'm not sure, Keith. I'm not sure. Maybe try it again, and then if I get it, if it's after stream, then I'll screenshot it, and then I'll do it in another stream. But yeah, I'm not sure about that. I'm not sure why I would ask for a password. I'm not sure. But I appreciate the sentiment. And I appreciate you being here all season with me. So with that being said, I'm gonna go work on this voice, y'all. I'm gonna make sure I get me some honey, some lemon. So I got to run to the grocery store to add to my tea. But it's been a great first season. Oh, Keith, Marie says if your account is set up like that, she uses her finger to unlock, her fingerprint to unlock. So that could be what it was, but I'm not sure. But shout out to Marie. Look up. Oh, look it up. Let me see. Let me see before I run. I'll check it on ChatGPT. Enter a password before super chat. D, get some organic oil of oregano, 6 drops in water will help. Yeah, and it's only been since I've been doing a little bit more streaming that I've been noticing kind of my voice going through a little bit of change. But let me write this down. My bad, Marie. Did I miss your comment before that? Let me write this down though. Organic oil. You know I'm old school. I got to bring the pen out. Organic oil of oregano. Really? Organic oil of oregano. They got that on Amazon? I get it sent to the house. 6 drops. Room temperature water? Room temperature water, Marie? Or with hot water? Should I add that to room temperature water or hot water? Hot water, Marie. Let me know. Let me know before I tap out. Before I tap off of the stream. Should I drink it with hot water or room temperature? Which one is best with the organic oil of oregano? And shout out to you, Keith Hunt. I appreciate you. Karma, the media is quiet about Drake May. Asante Samuels went off. Yeah, I saw that. I buy it from Amazon. It's great for seasonal allergies, respiratory issues. Oh, from Amazon. Okay, cool. And I'm sorry to hold you up, Marie. One last question. Room temp or cold, up to you. Okay, cool. Perfect. All right, you got me. Thank you for getting me together. I definitely got to work on this. I gotta have my voice. When I'm talking to y'all. So thank you so much. I appreciate that, Marie. I'm just gonna order it straight off Amazon. Amazon is my spot. Get it sent straight to the house. So I appreciate you. Thank you all for tapping in. Enjoy the next couple of days. I'm gonna work on this voice to make sure I'm good. Make sure my voice is not ashy. I will see y'all on Wednesday morning. Peace, everybody. Let me hit the button.
Look at what I did. Look at what I started. Look how far I came, dog. I ain't had no guidance. I just did my thing, dog. I just went my hardest. And I'ma go hard regardless. Yeah, I'ma go hard regardless. Yeah. Running my check, I ran on my bag, I did what I did. Yeah. Running my check, I ran on my bag, I did what I did. Yeah. And how good they judge me, oh. But they don't.
They're setting Dylan Gabriel up.
Look how far I came, dog. I ain't had no guidance. I just did my thing, dog.